writing on the internet. He can call it what he wants, so Glenn Clark Radio. Glenn Clark Radio. Glenn Clark Radio.
And good morning. It is a Friday edition of Glenn Clark Radio. I'm Glenn. He's Griffin. And if it's Friday, it means it's good to have back the Reverend Chief Grand Poobah Stan the Fan Charles.
Hey, Glenn. What's going on?
How was your wedding officiating? That's next week?
That's next weekend.
Oh, I thought it was last week. I saw that picture of you on Facebook. It made me think that was you were doing your wedding officiating. So you're not here next week.
That's correct.
Where's the wedding?
Connecticut.
Have you been practicing your officiating? Are you at all nervous that at the end they won't be married? Like that you'll somehow screw it up?
No.
And they'll call you back and they'll be like, Stan, you made a mistake.
Nope.
They're not actually married.
Nope. I'm not.
You're not
nervous
about
that
right.
because my wife got me ordained.
You're good.
I'm good.
You are a man of the cloth.
You just got to make sure you marry the right couple, right? Like
it would be uncomfortable.
It's kind of like that's a good thing. I should have them write their names on their arms or something like that.
You announce, and now I present to you.
Max and Sam.
Is that who it is?
Max and Sam.
But it would be awkward if you just screwed up in the moment. You're like Max and Dan, and all of a sudden his best man's just like, oh, we're married now. All right. I apologize. That was a good-looking picture though that you posted on Facebook. Where was that from?
What picture?
You posted it. There was.
Oh, that was at my Passover Seder.
That was from Seder.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. That's what happened.
Stan's gonna wear sweatpants for the wedding. I mean, come on.
Yeah, right. He's not dressing up for that. You got to pay extra if you want Stan in a tux.
I bought a new suit.
Look at you.
Yeah.
You look at you. You're going all out. Yeah. These are people you care about, clearly. This is very nice.
I've spent like about 2 hours last night working on a script and
nice.
It's 2 hours more than they get out of me.
Yeah.
I say just present me the
I've
thing.
invested about 5 or 6 hours
Holy
in this thing.
Smokes. You're really Is this a new business?
It's a possibility.
Are you thinking about going into being a ordained,
I'm just to play it safe though. I'm going to try and talk people into remarrying.
Remarrying, right?
Yeah,
so
like you and.
Well, I'm not really sure we're ready to make that commitment. I think we're playing it by ear. And
Griffin, aren't you due to get married soon?
Oh, any moment now. I think.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. Who knows? I'll keep you the loop.
We have a couple that we're friends with. I know it's very random. This is Baltimore, right?
Yeah.
One of my lifelong best friends, his cousin, she went to, Roxanne is her name. Roxanne. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. She went to high school with my wife, and they were friends.
Okay.
And this was two separate things. We knew this is the Baltimore connection. My wife and I had the same pediatrician growing up, and we never knew. We had the same doctor. We both bumped into the guy one night. And I was like, Dr. Ron. And she's like, what do you mean, Dr. Ron? That's my Dr. Ron. So those are our Baltimore connections.
Were you from the same area?
No. We're both Baltimore County, but.
Right, but.
Mrs. Clark went to NDP. I went to Perry Hall, and.
That's interesting.
Yeah, it's a very Baltimore thing. Yeah. So I was with and my buddy's cousin Roxanne, who's wonderful, and she's married to former Maryland football player Bernie Fiddler, who I liked a lot. So. Okay. I'd known them for a while, and one night I was talking with them, and she was joking about how they have an agreement that we will revisit where we are when the youngest child is 18. They joke about it constantly within their lives. They're like, we're happy right now, but when the youngest child turns 18, we'll have a nice powwow and see if we're still feeling the same way. And if we are,
if they want to get remarried,
there you go. Exactly right. I will send them to Stan the Fan. If
$240.
That's it.
That's what the officiator. That's what the average officiator makes.
Well, they're probably going to tip you a little bit more than that, right?
I'm not accepting.
Well, You want me to be the one to say?
Well,
it? You want me to?
Let me tell you, if
Hey,
they say
hey,
if
Sam.
they give me a check for $1,000,
Yeah, you're not turning it
up.
back. That's what I'm saying.
But I'm
Sam.
actually it's part of my.
This man's putting in 5 to 6 hours worth of work officiating.
There's going to be
this.
at least 5 to 10 more
At
hours.
least 10 to 15 hours worth of work officiating this wedding. See how much stress it's caused him? He's got a neck brace. Yeah. I think that a nice.
No, that's from an accident.
Oh, well.
That's from a car accident.
Well, yeah, but now it's stress on top of stress. I would just say maybe a nice tip coming this man's way. That's all I'm saying.
In fact, that's part of my. That's my icebreaker is about saying introducing myself. You're not supposed to.
It's
really
not
make
because it's not really about you.
It's not about me,
Yeah.
but this will be about me. This one line, I say, a lot of times at the wedding, the couple's the most nervous people there. I'm the most nervous.
No question.
First time officiator, but I'm savvy enough to have looked up what an officiator makes.
Right.
And
you're on top of that.
The average is $240.
You're on top of that.
And I want to tell Sam and Max that I'm not going to accept payment. And not because I'm generous or, it's a gift or anything. If I accept $240, there's expectations.
Right, that's a good point. Yeah. Now you need to deliver. You need to deliver a $240 experience, and that's just not what I have in me.
I'm going to give them 0.
Right. 100%. This is smart. This is like, Ricky Williams.
I wasn't born yesterday.
Ricky Williams is a good football player, but in New Orleans, they think of him as having traded an entire draft for him. They're like, I don't think he was worth an entire draft. Right. But if they had just taken him with the pick and hadn't traded away an entire draft, he probably would have been worthy of that pick. This is smart, Stan the Fan. You're a smart man. All right. Coming up on the program today, lots to do. We are going to wish Michael Pierce a good luck in his retirement.
I've been waiting to talk to Michael.
Michael and I were always really close, and I just think because this is the retirement conversation, he would maybe prefer it if this one was just he and I.
Oh, I can understand.
I think that's all.
It's not a Tirico.
It's not about you. No. It's not about Griff. I think that just because of the nature of this being the retirement one, he would rather maybe it was just he and I spending some time together, or tears shed. I think we might be trading shirts at the end. It's a whole thing.
Oh, that's
that
sweet.
That's
actually
he will not be able to fit in my shirt. That will not be the case. Also this morning, we're going to meet Isaiah Watts, who is another incoming Maryland basketball transfer. We met Elijah Saunders earlier this week. We'll meet Isaiah Watts today, coming from Washington State. And, he is Slick Watts' grandson. So we'll talk to him. And also his dad was a basketball player, too. We will talk to him about the
Slick Watts just passed
away about a month ago, yeah. I believe they really did just lay him to rest yesterday. And so
really? Yeah. March 15th he passed away.
Yeah. And probably it wasn't laying him to it was just, I believe, a memorial service at that point. And also this morning we will make a trip to Bowie to chat with Ryan Long of the Baysox and Tyler.
Who's driving down?
Well, I don't know if I trust you after what happened in Sarah. Yeah. No offense, right? Yeah. But you came in here with a neck brace today. I think we're gonna let Griffin handle this.
Wasn't my fault.
I didn't say it was. I just maybe some of the you could be thinking about that as you approach an intersection, and there could be some PTSD involved, right? So that's why I think this time I'm going to allow Griffin to do the driving. Okay. So we'll head down to Bowie to chat with Chesapeake Baysox pitcher Ryan Long. And Tyler Tejada will join us this morning. He's staying at Towson, so we will chat with him about
that. Miguel Tejada's son?
I do not. Ruben, actually. Ruben Tejada. Believe it or not.
No, I didn't even know that.
That's the weird part. We will chat with Tyler this morning as well. So all that coming up on a Friday edition of the program. 1 week from tomorrow, support the Brigance Brigade with their annual 5.7K race and 1.57-mile fun walk. That's Saturday, April 26th. The day will be full of racing, walking, and family fun starting at the Maryland Zoo in Baltimore, and it all supports the fight against ALS. On top of the race and walk, there will also be a kids' fun run, sack races, a freeze dance competition, moon bounce, face painting, and cupcake bar, plus free zoo admission included with your registration. You can get brunch from Jimmy's Famous Seafood, which can be added to the registration for just $15, or you can add it day of. So race, play, and make lasting memories together with the Brigance Brigade Register now, brigantsbrigade.org. What a difference a couple of decent starts make, huh? Really kind of changes the entire vibe that everybody's feeling, although it wasn't all good news yesterday. We will get to that.
We don't need that guy.
Yeah, I don't know. First-time man of the match this season, we put up on the board. Tommy Sugars is man of the match from last night.
Tommy Sugars or Sugar?
Is it just Sugar?
I thought it was Tommy Sugar.
I kind of like Tommy Sugars better. I'm just going to be honest. If that's not the correct name, we're going to fix it, and we're going to go with Tommy Sugars. Tomo Sugano, man of the match from last evening. Allowed the back-to-back home runs, and you started to feel like, oh, no, this could be going south in a hurry. But that was just about it. Very efficient, over 7 innings of work, allowing just 5 base runners and those 2 runs. Of course, there were other candidates last night. 3 home runs hit by the Orioles, Gunnar Henderson, Ryan O'Hearn with the big one that put them ahead, and then Heston Kjerstad, which kind of put it away. But when you get a 7-inning start that was as effective as Tomo Sugano's was last night, you are almost always going to be man of the match because we don't see 7-inning starts much, not just in Baltimore, but anywhere. We don't see them much at all in baseball.
Sugano, by the way, only 3 strikeouts, but 0 walks.
Yep.
0
Correct.
walks. I have
Pretty
a
good.
feeling that will be a line that we see a fair amount of times, with him.
Well, if he's that pitch efficient, man,
Yeah.
like that, when the 5th inning ended, I hadn't even been paying attention to where his pitch count was,
Yeah.
and I'm like, holy, he could
He can go
finish the
7.
game,
Yeah.
maybe. That was never going to be in the cards, but he does. And then a little bit of trouble for Felix Bautista in the 9th inning, but he works out of it. Still waiting to see if the velocity will elevate back to Felix Bautista levels. We haven't seen it yet. Long season, we will see how that plays out. But the Orioles do, for the first time this season, win a series and win back-to-back games. So those are pleasant things as now they get ready for the Reds series. Now, Stan, let's touch on a couple of things. The bad news, of course, being the update that we got about Grayson Rodriguez yesterday, who now is dealing with shoulder soreness on top of everything else and is once again being shut down. And as you and I talked about, and I know you had said that you had been texting with our friend Luke Jackson about, the problem when it was Grayson Rodriguez that we got the news about is it was almost
not surprising. It's not that surprising.
It was almost difficult for us to even contextualize the specificity of the injury,
right,
because the feeling was way more global than that. It was far more of a, oh, right, Grayson Rodriguez is hurt again.
Yeah.
That's what it is. That's just what we're dealing with at this point. And so that's the difficult part about talking about shoulder soreness, is we all just sort of have this feeling like, right, so he's not pitching this year. Like, that's just and I know that's not actually the case, but
right.
It's the dread that we all feel every time we hear the name Grayson
Right.
Rodriguez.
I mean, I would think it's fair to say that he's, if anything, he's a second half of the year guy. He's the acquisition you might get at the trade deadline. That's roughly,
The
what I
issue
see.
with that, of course, being is do you have enough to get to that point? And
we're going to find out.
if you get that from Tomo Sugano last night, that goes a long way to having something. Even if you can get what you got from Dean Kramer the night before, you'll take that at this point. That would go a long way.
That makes tonight's start a very important start. I mean, it's time. I wrote a column earlier in the week. It's time for Cade Povich to get the training wheels off and show that he's a viable major league
It's the
starter.
tricky part about talking about Cade Povich, because in general you see enough signs to say, yeah, there's something there, right? Like, yeah, this guy might be a major league pitcher, but the problem is the Orioles don't need a guy who might be a major league pitcher.
They need a major league pitcher.
Correct. Like, they need that
Good
guy
way to put it.
kind of now.
Yeah.
I think the other part of the conversation that has to be discussed is somebody's going to have to go for Brandon Young to pitch tomorrow in Baltimore. And the options are limited for guys that can go for Brandon Young to pitch tomorrow. And I've wondered if the answer just might not be Cade Povich, just simply because of math. They say, look, this isn't us permanently demoting you.
Right.
It's us saying for 10 days you're going to be down there because they have another off day on Monday. They don't need another starter until next Saturday, and that at that point might be either Kyle Gibson or maybe it's even Zach Eflin at that point.
Right.
I don't know. But it certainly could be Kyle Gibson by next Saturday that could make that start. That would require you keeping Brandon Young in the rotation for an additional start after that if you're going to do it that way. Or there could always be an injury that pops up that allows you to put Cade Povich back on the roster before then so that he could return to the rotation at that point.
But they do have a little duplication at the end of the bullpen with Bowman and Blewett, right?
So I guess the question is, are you just saying that Blewett was a 1-week acquisition? And
I think and I looked up his numbers,
and he looked pretty good the other night, obviously.
Yeah. I'm sure they don't want to lose him immediately, but Bowman has options, though, doesn't he?
Does he? We checked on this the other day.
Let me double check.
Didn't they option once?
Bowman does not have options.
He does not have options, so he could easily get picked up at this point.
Potentially, yes.
Yeah.
So that's where the issue is.
Aiken's the only guy. Yeah.
What's that?
Aiken is the only guy.
I mean, Cano and Batista also
Cano
have
and
options,
Batista.
but you're not going to be doing that. Keegan Aiken is the only other guy that has an option left that you could choose to do that with, and so.
I gotta be honest with you. It ended well last night. I'm wondering if Bautista wouldn't be better off pitching in sort of really lower level, situations.
I think what you're saying is the nervousness that we might feel if it was a one-run game that Felix Bautista was being brought
I wouldn't
into
be very comfortable with him in one-run games right now. And using your closer and I know part of that is situational, but he hadn't pitched in 4 days.
Mm-hmm.
So would you rather keep Blewett and Bowman for now and put him on an IL like a rehab?
I think the tough part is getting the player to go along with it. But
I don't think he has the right to.
If he's not injured, then the Players Association would 1,000% file an
Oh, you're right.
They would.
You're right.
They would without.
But he has options, so they could option.
Right, they could option
Okay.
him, but they couldn't say it's a rehab stint.
Well, I'm saying consider optioning him.
Boy,
Not for a lot. It also allows you the time to see. Every once in a while, a major league team gets a guy like Brandon Young up. And all of a sudden, they don't miss it. You're worried about Povich, and all of a sudden, the next guy up just comes up, and he shows he's a major league pitcher.
Mm-hmm.
That does happen
100%.
occasionally.
To me, I'm not going to be stunned if the answer is whatever Cade Povich does tonight. The Orioles just say after this is the
that's
business.
the path of least resistance.
Right. The business goes this way, and they might have even said that to him at the beginning of the year. Like, look, you're on the roster,
Right.
But understand, even if it goes well for a little while, you still have a couple of options, and we're trying to manipulate a 26-man roster, and it almost times out perfectly. He wouldn't be available to you for another 5 days anyway.
Right.
So you're talking
and
about
have an off day, so it's 6 days. So
correct. Like you're kind of putting yourself in a position where there's a minimum amount of pain involved with making a decision like this, and you have other decisions that are coming up. Because presumably Kyle Gibson and Zach Eflin are both going to be here. And, yes, some of that unfortunately, somebody could get hurt between now and then. And that, as Buck Showalter always said, these decisions tend to have a way of working themselves out. Yeah. But short of that, short of somebody getting hurt tonight, it does sort of feel like the Povich thing is that's what the Orioles do to kind of manipulate a roster and say this is just the way it works. Even if he goes out tonight and looks stellar. They just say, look, we're not sending him down. We're not.
It's not performance-based.
Right.
It's just situational.
It's just based on the way that things shake for a little while. We're going to let Brandon Young make another start next week, and then we'll go from there. And Cade Povich will be back soon. Whatever, soon means is the way that'll work out. But, yeah, they would need another pitcher next Saturday, and you would think by next Saturday Kyle Gibson would probably be ready to be in the rotation, and then you see where you are with Eflin from there. And at some point, you might be right. If this continues with Felix Bautista and he continues to look shaky, then maybe it's easier for them to say in 2 weeks, like
Yeah, go down and get 5 appearances in where you start to be sharper because you're out there every other day for an inning.
I think it's tougher to do when you kind of reanointed him the closer, and he hasn't done anything inherently wrong.
He hasn't shit the bed,
right?
But he's. It's not like he's the Felix.
No, he's not.
We knew that wasn't good, but there is a little bit of shakiness with his control.
There's no question that there's shakiness, and he certainly isn't. Again, he's not throwing at the velocity that we've seen Felix Bautista throw at, and whether that's just sort of trusting the arm again or whatever it is, it's not there. And again, I don't know enough to know if that's not the type of thing where somebody would say, yeah, that all of this check makes sense.
Yeah.
Within a month, he could be at 98 again. And by July, he could 100% be hitting 100 as he just continues to loosen up and feel normal.
And you have more
again.
Confidence that you're not going to immediately hurt it.
100%, right? That could be the way that it goes.
By the way, our cover story.
That's correct. That's
details
right.
the comeback trail.
Where'd mine go? I had a copy sitting. Is that mine? All right, thank you. Oh, you know what? I'll explain that later. This is the print issue of Press Box. It is available for free at your neighborhood Royal Farms, any of the hundreds of locations around town where you find Press Box. You can read it all, PressBoxOnline.com. Luke Jackson on the cover. Dives into not just Felix Bautista, but also Tyler Wells, Kyle Bradish, who are making their way back. Tommy John surgery, the long road back. Also inside, learn a little bit more about Samuel Basayo. And
it's the hard road back, by the way.
Is it the hard I did say the long road back, didn't I?
Yeah.
The hard road back is correct.
No, I was thinking it was the long road back, too. I don't know.
It's right there in front of me.
But I'm curious as to why we didn't think the long road back. It is a hard road back.
It is. It's both work. It's fine,
100%. The long and winding road.
Long and winding. Well, we can't do that. We might get sued.
Yeah.
So
Glenn Clark Radio.
We're not going to get dinged for that. We've got full permission for that one. I haven't gotten dinged once since we switched to our guy Chris Eric's song.
What was the name of the guy who did the song?
Our song?
Yeah.
Chris Erich. Good man.
Chris.
Good man.
Did he put as much time into that song
as you put into being an efficient? He might have put more in. You know who swore they were going to make us a song that we could also use?
Drew Forrester.
No, Jeremy Kahn suggested, in fact, basically that he would do like a doo-wop. And I said, Jeremy, you're not going to do that. I don't believe you. And he was like, no, I'm going to do it. Right. Yeah, he was never doing that. It was never happening. Who are we kidding? Anyway, we'll find out tomorrow what the Orioles do. Again, we're presuming it's Brandon Young that's going to start the game tomorrow, but they're not announcing that, nor could they. You can't announce a starter who's not on the roster. You can only announce pitchers that are on the roster. So who knows? Maybe it'll be something. Maybe it'll be Ryan Long, right?
That'd be something.
Maybe we're talking to him today. And
wow, that would be
right?
something.
Me? All right, I guess I'll go do it if that's what you need. So we will see how that plays out this weekend. But again, good news is the Orioles win a series for the first time this year. Looking at how the show shapes up, Griffin, do you want to do Twib when we come back in?
Yeah, we could. Do you think we have enough time for Twib?
Yeah.
There's always time for
yeah,
Twib.
But Griffin wants like 20 minutes to do Twib.
Yeah.
You're not giving you that. You're not going to get that. So we'll come back in, and we'll look over the rest of the week in baseball, including, do we have a new Spider-Man? Discuss that when we come back in. Stan's here. It's Glenn Clark Radio.
Driving in Maryland? Did you know an Easy Pass from DriveEasyMD.com can save you time and money? Of course you did, because you are a thrifty driver. An antenna reads your Easy Pass transponder and automatically deducts the toll from your Easy Pass account. There, you just saved money with Easy Pass, all without slowing or receiving a notice in the mail. Well done, thrifty driver, well done. Get your Easy Pass at DriveEasyMD.com.
Baltimore's Classic 5 golf courses make golf fun and affordable. All 5 local courses, Pine Ridge, Mount Pleasant, Forest Park, Carroll Park, and Clifton Park, are challenging and fun for players of all skill levels. Book your tee time today at classic5golf.com.
Discover luxury without limits at Live Casino and Hotel Maryland. This April, unlock a world of high-fashion delights and exclusive style. Earn entries daily starting April 1st and join our drawing on Friday, April 25th. 19 will win up to $2,000 in cash and free play. And one grand prize winner will take home a curated Versace homeware collection. At Arundel Mills, must be 21. Please play responsibly. For help, visit mdgamblinghelp.org or call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Gambling can be a fun and entertaining experience, but there are risks involved. If you're planning on betting on the game at the casino or on your phone or computer, know your limit, stay within it. Set a budget and a time to stop. Remember, gambling isn't a financial solution, and it doesn't mix well with alcohol or drugs. Know the risks and have a plan before you begin gambling. For free and confidential services, call 1-800-GAMBLER 24/7 or go to helpmygamblingproblem.org.
The latest edition of Press Box is available now, and on the cover, Luke Jackson looks at the long road back from Tommy John surgery for Orioles closer Felix Bautista, as well as Kyle Bradish and Tyler Wells. Also inside, we learn more about new Maryland basketball coach Buzz Williams from the players who have played for him at other stops. Plus, evaluators around baseball chime in on Orioles' top prospect Samuel Basayo. Press Box is available for free at over 500 locations throughout the region, including 60 Royal Farm stores. Or you can read the entire issue online at PressBoxOnline.com. Where you can also find great betting advice and the best daily coverage of the Orioles, Ravens, and Terps.
Contrary to what some people believe, I actually like this guy when he sleeps. Glenn Clark, talking sports.
We are back, Stan. I'm sorry. We're back in here on GCR, so we continue along on it. We're doing GCR. It's we mix it up every now and then. Try to do that.
Glenn Clark Radio.
Glenn Clark Radio. All right, we're going to chat with Tyler Tejada in a few minutes, but before we do that, it's a Friday, and on Fridays...
This week,
in the rest of
baseball.
Caught up, as we, of course, talk lots of Orioles during the course of the week, but we don't always talk about what's going on elsewhere, and as I said yesterday, since there's no newspaper for me to read anymore, I don't even look at the standings until, like, the second half of the season. So there could be somebody hitting...
Blame it on the death of newspaper.
Right, there could be somebody hitting 20 home runs this year, and I might not know.
Well, that's what I was going to ask you, who the leader is in home runs.
Aaron Judge.
No, Aaron Judge is third.
Bum. That guy's...
Two guys with more home runs in baseball
In
right
all
now.
of baseball?
Yes. Stan?
I'm sorry.
Who's the home run leader? Who's the current home run leader?
It's not Judge?
It's not Judge.
What's he have, 9?
He has 9.
Oh, is it the guy in Oakland that everybody's raving
What's
about?
his name?
Oh, God, what is his
Say his name!
Soderstrom?
Yeah, Soderstrom.
Yeah, everybody's freaking out about that.
Tyler Soderstrom is the new Babe Ruth.
Not Oakland, because wherever.
Sack
Nowhere.
No,
they're just the Athletics. They have no...
Sack A's. He's got 9 home runs, 18 RBI. He's off to
well, if you were playing
start.
in a minor league stadium.
Well, the thing is, it hasn't fully heated up yet, though, either. And he's hit a fair share on the road. So Tyler Soderstrom, 9 home runs. Judge is third with 7. Who's second? Who's got the second? 8 home runs. I believe he hit another one yesterday. Yeah, hit another one yesterday and a comeback win for this team.
Shohei.
No.
Corbin Carroll.
No. Corbin Carroll does have 6, though.
Okay.
Shohei has 6 as well.
No, he's off to a hot start. Bryce Harper.
No.
Schwarber.
No, not Schwarber.
Manny Machado.
No. He's a catcher.
Catcher.
Gary Sanchez.
No, not Gary. Not Gary. He's a few short. He's about 8 short.
Ramon Laureano.
Does have a home run.
Cal Raleigh has 8 home runs.
Hey!
So there's your home run leaders. Soderstrom, Raleigh, and Aaron Judge.
How about it?
With a bunch of guys tied at 6.
Judge sucks.
Yeah.
What a pathetic
loser. That can't be in front of Tyler Soderstrom.
That's what they're saying. That's what they're saying. The biggest news, well, I mean, I guess in this current news cycle, the 24-hour cycle that will that resets. Last night, a hero of the 2019 World Series run for the Washington Nationals had been pretty. Had been one of the worst pitchers in baseball
for some time.
Since then, Patrick Corbin found himself in Texas this season, and he made, I don't know what start of the season it was, but he had not been off to a great start. It was just his second start. And it's not like his first start was any good. Last night wasn't even that great of a start, but he pitched well. The Rangers got a win, and then we found out after the game that apparently he almost missed the start completely, as Bruce Bochy said. We weren't even sure if he was going to pitch. He had a bite. He could hardly walk when he got to the clubhouse. some kind of venom got in there. Not sure if it was a spider or what. He was 50-50 on whether he could make the start or not. That was what Bruce Bochy said in the postgame. Corbin said, something bit me. I still don't know what. They were able to kind of work it out and just kind of maintain it throughout the day, but it's pretty sore still. It's just kind of something that's really strange. I was fortunate to get through yesterday and have some time to recover and get good to go. That was what Patrick Corbin said. There was a bite on his foot.
Him and Peter Parker, right? Like the two of them together.
It wasn't like a kinky thing, though.
I don't think
like
it was.
his wife
No.
said him or something.
No, this is apparently a
A person bit his foot. Is that?
I mean,
or he likes the pain.
Look, whatever he's into, he's into.
He got through 5 1/3, 1 run, which was one of his better starts in years.
You take it.
I've got him on both of my last place fantasy.
Did you
teams.
send the spider
your
after
last
him?
place?
No,
Is this?
I just have a hunch he's going to pitch well.
I guess the real question now is like, you know how baseball is. We were just talking to Ryan O'Hearn about this yesterday, where Ryan O'Hearn said, "Hey, yeah, Sig brought us the torpedo bats in 2023. I used it once. I struck out and I threw the thing away." And I said, "Just because you struck," he's like, "Yeah, I'm
So now he's
never,
gonna get bit by a spider every.
never
start.
gonna use it again." But you know how baseball players are, right? Like, does now Patrick Corbin purposely like try to stop by I don't know what you call a place where they would keep
Well,
spiders.
he's in Texas, so he can probably just walk barefoot anywhere.
Yeah, well, but he's not always going to be in Texas.
Yeah,
like
I guess
his
you're
next start in D.C.
Well, he's only gonna start home.
Is there an insect arbor
I'm sure
that
there
it just
is.
stops
it's DC.
by?
It's DC.
They're like, can I pet your spiders? Can I? They're like, why? Why would you want to hold?
Well,
a
I'm
spider?
starting tonight.
Right.
You'll be like, okay, what?
You know how superstitious baseball players are, man. Like, if I'm Patrick Corbin, I'm not messing around with it. Like, I'm going to go ahead and get bitten by a spider before every start I make.
His
just to
pitching
see.
coach right now is Mike Maddox, right?
If Mike
I'll
Maddox
trust
is still,
him. He's
he
with
was
Texas.
there. I mean,
He's with
I don't know
Texas.
any reason.
But that
to think he
was Mike Maddox at the Nationals?
Are you saying Mike Maddox bit him? Yeah, he was at the Nationals.
I mean, was he there with Corbin? I think he was.
As a coach, he was at some point, not during the World Series
16
run.
and 17.
Yeah, but I think Corbin was still there
Maddox
at that time.
in Washington.
And then he was in St. Louis before heading to Texas. But yeah, so spider bite Patrick Corbin, Spider-Man Patrick Corbin is maybe a thing. We'll see. We'll see if he all of a sudden knows how to pitch now.
I love it. I'm all in on Spider-Man Patrick Corbin.
Earlier this week, much to Glenn's chagrin, I'm sure, they started announcing World Baseball Classic captains.
Well, it's my chagrin.
Well,
so
because you hate the World Baseball Classic. You hate anything fun, remember?
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. I hate fun. No, I don't want to see my players. Ask the Mets how they feel about the World Baseball Classic.
Everyone's now putting out their dream lineups for the
ask
USA.
Buck how he feels about
Well, speaking
it.
of the Mets, Frankie Lindor announced that he's going to be the Puerto Rican captain, as all the captains are getting selected, and
sure everyone involved with that organization is
thrilled,
right?
And everyone's putting out their fantasy USA lineups and their
well, all we
World
know so
Baseball
far is
lineups.
Aaron Judge.
Yeah,
correct? That's all we know. Is
a lot of the people that have been putting out lineups, they're like, we think Adley should be the catcher, Gunnar would be at third base, but they want Bobby Witt to play shortstop.
Makes sense. Look, man, I hope that they all say, just not feeling it. That's just the way that I am.
Well, if Aaron Judge is doing it, I mean, it's going to be hard for anyone else to be like, if the best
internal-
player in baseball is not doing it.
The issue here is that Major League Baseball is involved. So Major League Baseball is purposely pushing and encouraging teams to have their players participate because it's Major League Baseball's thing. They own this event. The only real interesting part about it is, have we gotten any further in the conversation about the Olympics? That's what makes this actually compelling.
Right.
Because Aaron Judge, who's openly spoken about how he wants to play in the Olympics, if he's signing up first and saying, I'll be the captain, is the unspoken part about this that I've heard no reporting about this week. Is that him being told by Major League Baseball, hey, we're really thinking about this. Like, we are genuinely considering the possibility. They announced this week that the baseball games we played at Dodger Stadium during the 2028 Olympics, which, of course, makes complete sense. Is there anything there?
Here's a question about the World Baseball Classic, though. It's Major League Baseball's thing. Do players get paid
I don't know the answer to that question, Stan. I don't know. I genuinely have no idea.
Otherwise they'd be expecting them to play out of the goodness of their heart.
With the argument being they would be in spring training anyway, right? Like they'd be doing baseball one way or the other. They'd be playing games. So instead of doing,
I've got to believe they've got to get paid.
Yeah, there's got to be some sort of something involved. There's no way the players aren't just signing up and being like, "Your guys are making money off of this," and we're
it
cool.
looks
We're
like
cool
they
with
were.
that.
I mean, not like MLB contracts,
Right.
but yeah, they were getting some sort of compensation. And it looks like whoever wins
I
gets
assume
like a larger
USA Baseball
pool.
probably pays some of that too. That's the only part of me that's really fascinating by this is where is that conversation about Major League Baseball players in the Olympics, because that does become really interesting if now this World Baseball Classic is a precursor or sort of setting the tone for who's going to be on the 2028 Olympic team. Short of that,
I think it's a good thing. I mean, it makes me a little bit more excited for the World Baseball Classic than I would be. I know what you're gonna say. They're all exhibitions, but I mean, I'm not gonna be watching the Yankees spring training games. But now that Aaron Judge is involved for a game that does somewhat more or less matter, Ohtani was in it last time.
Your argument is it gets people more excited about the start of baseball season because they will be invested in baseball a little bit more in March than they would be otherwise.
And it was cool because after they announced Judge would be the captain, Kansas City was in New York this week, and Bobby Witt hit a home run that night, and everyone was like, "Oh, he's auditioning to be the shortstop for Aaron Judge's team." So I think it's exciting. I think it's a good thing.
All right,
and it should help for the Olympic push as well. Jorge Lopez, we talked about. I mentioned, I think, to you earlier that he is in baseball. Do we remember what team he's on?
No.
On the Nationals.
He is on the Nationals. Was in the news this week because he was throwing at Andrew McCutchen, and the bench is cleared in Pittsburgh this week. And Jorge Lopez got handed a 3-game suspension.
Isn't Andrew McCutchen like 60 years old? What are you doing throwing at Andrew McCutchen?
He's like 38 or 39.
Are you sure?
He's picking on somebody his own size.
Maybe. That might be the case.
He's 38. Yeah.
He feels like he's been 38 for the last 5 years.
He will be 38 all season unless somehow the Pirates make it to like the ALCS or the NLCS.
No, they probably won't make it to the ALCS.
Probably not.
What's he doing, Jorge Lopez, going after Andrew McCutchen?
But yeah, it was a little bit of
He's had a couple meltdowns. Didn't he have that?
Well,
yeah.
I don't think he was. I mean, I don't. Well, the thing is, he hit. I forget who the batter was right in front of him, but he hit the batter right in front of him, and then he threw I don't think he even hit Andrew McCutchen, but he threw up and in. And
no, but
I'm
talking about the thing last year, wasn't he?
Oh yeah, when he threw his glove in the stands.
He's had some. And he's actually been open about his mental health struggles that he's dealt with. He's actually a really nice guy.
He is a very nice guy, but
Extremely nice guy.
He's troubled.
There's a lot of volatility.
Yeah.
This last one, I'm trying to pull up the video here. Have you heard about the Iowa meat truck?
The what?
The Iowa meat truck.
I haven't.
Is that the new name of a team in Iowa?
Did you not get the thing I told you to get?
Oh, sure, yeah.
No, way to go.
I forgot to get it. Well, this is also minor league baseball, so they're related. This was all part of it. The Iowa meat truck, Peyton Williams, is this big dude in the Blue Jays organization, and they call him the Iowa meat truck. He had a walk-off the other night, so that's why everybody's.
Is he from Iowa? Is that
yeah,
okay,
I would
that
assume
makes more
so.
sense.
I would assume so.
You don't even. You're the guy doing the segment.
But yeah, the Iowa meat truck, Peyton Williams is just a big dude who hits bombs. Apparently,
should he be on my radar as a prospect?
I think so. I'm trying to figure out what level he's at right now.
Not only is he from Des Moines, he went to Iowa. He's very much all Iowa, and he is a big fella.
I wonder if Kirk Ferentz knows him.
I
wonder if he played for him.
Looks like a guy that could have 6'5", 255.
Wow,
is what Peyton Williams is listed at. You'll never remember. Yeah, at center field. Very much not center field. He's a first baseman. You're showing some sort of video.
I'm trying to, but
apparently
delay us
it's
too
not working, and so we can just imagine what in your head. Think about what Peyton Williams might.
There he goes.
Like.
There's the Iowa meat truck.
There's the Iowa meat
everyone.
Truck. That's
definitely on the tube.
Definitely better than the thing that I told Griffin to be prepared to share during this week in baseball, which he just
Well, it's
said.
my segment.
I understand that.
It's his thing, though.
I understand that, but maybe you want to be prepared. Maybe you want to have all of the stories of the anomalies that happened during the course. Did you know, Stan, this week there was a situation where 3 runs scored on a walk?
Is this in a minor league game?
It wasn't a minor league game. 3 runs scored on a walk.
Cannot imagine how
that seems interesting, right?
Yeah.
Well, you always have to wonder.
Yeah.
That's just the way it's going to go. You'll never know.
Look at that.
Look at that. That's amazing. That's amazing. That's why they pay you $240 to officiate.
I was trying to highlight, good baseball.
Right.
Not
No.
baseball.
No, they involved an incredible decision made by a base runner. No, it's all good, Griffin. Don't worry. We'll just always wonder how that might have happened.
Well, I mean, you can probably
just always
imagine
wonder.
it was a pass ball, and then
You have no idea. Well,
that is what
we'll
happened.
always have to wonder. It wasn't there was no pass ball involved. You're wrong. So, but other than that,
we're never gonna know.
yeah, correct. That's the way that it'll go. That's this week in most of the rest of baseball with Griffin Bass.
Well, guess what? Life's gonna go on, and no one's ever gonna remember that.
Sure. All right, let's switch gears this morning here on GCR. Our next guest joined us a couple months ago, and I remember asking him why he had decided after last year that he was going to stick around at Towson, and he told us, "Look, money. It's not really about money for me. It's about loyalty." And then he went out and
It's kind of like my officiating fee.
Yeah, it's kind of about
sort of
money.
like
Yeah,
that.
it's kind of about money. And then after he was CAA Player of the Year this year, I said, right, I appreciate that, but I imagine that might change as there's going to be a lot more money. As it turns out, he was telling us the complete truth, and all of us that thought it was going to change, we were the dummies, because after winning CAA Player of the Year, he's coming right back to Towson University next season. It's a pleasure to welcome back to the program Tyler Tejada, who was with us this morning here on GCR. Tyler, it's Glenn and Stan. It's great to chat with you again, man. Thank you so much for taking the time for us this morning.
Of course. I appreciate you guys having me.
Tyler, I imagine that this is your opportunity to laugh at everybody who didn't believe you, who said, oh, I'm so sure it's not all about money. You were telling the complete truth. It really is not just about money for you. It really is about loyalty.
Yeah, it's always been about loyalty for me. I know the money comes with it. I know that's the bigger prize for later on, but right now, I wanna be at Towson. I wanna do all these things at Towson.
I'm just curious, Tyler, how hard did Pat Skerry hug you after you gave him the word that you're coming back?
Pretty hard.
Tyler, take us through, right? I know you guys had to go through the disappointment, but did you have a moment where you thought, hey, maybe this is my chance to be at a high level? Did you go through any of that, or did you always know, if they want me back, this is where I want to be?
I mean, deep down, I always wanted to be here. I definitely thought about other options and was close to exploring other options as well. But after just talking with my family and my mom and taking the time for myself just to really think and figure out what I wanted to do, I knew that this was the right place for me to be.
Can you explain that to us, Tyler? For someone on the outside, right, that doesn't know anything about Towson basketball, they'd say, why? Why is that the right place? Why wouldn't you want to be? Can you explain to people why, to you, sticking around and seeing this thing through at Towson is so important?
Because it's important. It's not just important to me. I know it's important to the university, the community, all the people in the area, and I know how passionate they are about basketball, and I feel like we all share that same passion to want to win and want to do all these things here. And I've heard a lot. I've seen a lot of things that people have said about me, or making assumptions or assuming about why the decision that I made is the one that I made. But I did what was best for me and my family. I felt like this was the best place for me to fix the holes in my game that I have before I go to the next level, and be able to really develop my game to be able to compete and play at that next level.
Tyler, it's one thing to hear that you made the decision to stay, and I'm not asking you to share necessarily who was interested, but was there a lot of interest from other teams?
Yeah, I had some. I had a few that I know if I were to put my name in the portal, that I was gonna get these certain type of looks or a lot of other looks.
This was the one. This is what we appreciate. Tyler Tejada with us here on GCR. Tyler, a couple things that jump out at me. One, Did you and Dylan talk about it together? Was that part of the decision that, like, hey, if Dylan's coming back for another year, we really can kind of run this thing back for the most part? Was that significant in the decision that you made?
Yeah, definitely. We definitely talked about it. We sat down with each other, just one-on-one, me and him, and we talked about just all the options and us, what we wanted to do and what we thought was best for each other. And, we said, like, yo, if this is what we're going to do, we're going to ride this out together. So let's do it.
That's really cool, man. And then the other, like, the part that it feels like you're telling us is obviously the heartbreak of falling again in the semifinals. Is there something about you that, like, you want to be the one that gets Towson, over the proverbial hump, and you want to be the guy that leaves the legacy of having driven Towson back to the NCAA tournament?
Oh, yeah, for sure. It's something I think about a lot. I know when I first got here, and I knew that, they haven't been to the tournament, and that was always something a goal that I've always wanted to reach here, and I wanted to be able to do that here.
Do you sense, Tyler, that the years you've been at Towson, that the fervor for Towson Tiger basketball has grown? Do you sense that when you're there, and the size of the crowds, the enthusiasm?
Yes, definitely, for sure. I've definitely seen a big jump from my freshman year to my sophomore year about how many people come out, how many people really support us. Like, I walk on campus and people come up to me and it's like, "Oh, you play basketball?" Yeah. Oh, like a lot of the people here are like really cool and really nice people, and I like that about the crowd and our fan base, that they really like show love and support us.
And as the level of female groupies increase accordingly?
I'm not going to speak on all that, but you know how it goes.
I know how it goes.
I've
never had that.
Yeah,
I've never had the leverage.
That's not true. Don't let him lie. Stan was in the same spot at one point in his career. Tyler, what does it take, right? Like we referenced wanting to get over that hump. What is it that you guys have learned from these setbacks that will allow it to be different for you moving forward into next season?
Anybody can be beat. Doesn't matter what you did during the regular season title or not. That once those 3 games in DC come, then you got to be on your A game at all times. You got to be thoroughly locked in to the goal and to the mission, and just to never take your foot off the gas.
You is it the type of thing where you start talking about it now, or is there danger like you can't obsess over it too much because then it kind of becomes crushing by the time you get there?
Yeah, I mean we don't talk about it anymore. We all felt the way we felt at that time when it happened.
Mm-hmm.
But we're just focused on taking it one day at a time, getting better each day, and then we'll worry about that again when we get there.
All right, so this is that night. Stan brought up the atmosphere. The night you guys played William and Mary and clinched the regular season title this year was unbelievable. I mean, it was just electric, as special a night as I've seen at TU Arena ever. Did you have a sense that night? Like, was there anything about that made you, like, did that play a role in you saying, like, man, I kind of want to keep doing this?
Yeah, for sure. That night was definitely special. I've never been part of like an environment like that in a game like that before in my life. So experiencing that for the first time was like very surreal. Kind of like felt like a movie.
Man,
it just felt like every shot we put up was just dropping.
I got it.
Just the crowd and everything like that played into it. It was a really great feeling.
I got to tell you, man, this is a selfish thing, but my kids were there that night because their basketball league got to do the high five tunnel with you guys. And like my kids talk about that night like it was Game 7 of the NBA Finals. Like, you guys made some memories, and a bunch of you actually came over after the game, in the middle of cutting down the nets, and came over to high five the boys. Like, they talk about that night like it's the greatest thing that's ever happened to them in their lives. My son got Messiah Jones.
Very sheltered children.
No, stop. Like, he got Messiah Jones to sign his basketball jersey, and, like, he won't wear it now. Like, it's the greatest thing ever. So you guys made some serious memories that night, and I'm very appreciative of that, Tyler. Tyler, obviously you reference, right, like the next level, and I think everybody has talked for some time about your ability to play in the NBA. What to you are still priorities? If it's just one more year, if it is 2 more years, what are the priorities for you? Here's what I need to continue to do in order to stay on that trajectory to have a chance to play in the NBA.
Just to continue to get better every day, ball handling, shooting, quicker feet, be more of a presence on defense. And I know just like getting my body right, getting my body better, getting stronger upper body, quicker and just quicker.
It's awesome, man. I got to ask you because I saw a video. I'd never seen this before. Your little brother, tell me about him, and he's been hanging around a little bit. And who's the bigger celebrity now when you're at games? Is it you or is it your brother?
I definitely think it's him now.
Yeah, right?
I definitely think it's him now. Oh, yeah. He's been coming around more. For him, it's like he's just so excited, like, to just be a part of, like, just the game itself. And for me, that feels like that's everything to me. Cool. That I'm able to create these memories or share these memories with him is probably the best feeling I could ever have. It means more to me than winning any game, any award, or nothing. Just being able to have the opportunity to be able to share those moments and with my brother, and just watch him be so excited and happy just to be a part of it is everything to me.
Hey, Tyler, one last question from me is in baseball, and I'm a big baseball aficionado, there's these academies that young players, and sometimes middle of career players go to improve an aspect of their game. Listening to you about what you want to work on, do you have a plan? Are you working with something equivalent to that in basketball, or is it just you go out by yourself and try and do things that you think will improve your game, or is it more planned?
Oh, it's definitely planned. I got people that we've been watching film, breaking things down.
Okay.
And I know, and I've been working very closely with Amit, our strength coach, and among other people to fully develop my body the right way and get it to where it needs to be, and get my game and myself to where it needs to be. But there's definitely a big plan with a lot of people involved that are breaking each and everything down.
All right, great.
You can follow Tyler. He's on Twitter at Tyler Tejada 22, and on Instagram it's just Tyler.Tejada, correct?
Yes.
Tyler, you made an awful lot of people very happy around here with this news. We can't wait to come out and watch you guys again next season as you look for that breakthrough and getting this team to the NCAA tournament. Congratulations. Thank you for taking the time for us this morning, man, and can't wait to see you again in the fall.
And Tyler, if those groupies get too much for you to handle and you need a 73-year-old guy, to help you with them, you just call me, okay?
I got you. I'll definitely do.
All right. You're my man.
Thanks.
You're my main man.
Thanks, Tyler.
Right.
Appreciate it. Thank you for having me.
Thank you, Tyler.
It's Tyler Tejada, headed back to Towson next year, which was a major coup.
I think he likes me.
I think he'd get a kick. I think that he's getting.
I think
you
I'm
never
gonna be
stand
his chum.
I mean, I don't know if we're gonna go that far, but I do think he got a kick out of that. I do think that he enjoyed
the dirty old man. The dirty old
this guy. This guy. He's like half rolling his eyes, half laughing, which is appropriate. That's the way that it should be. But obviously very, very significant that Tyler Tejada is headed back to Towson next season.
He's got his head on his shoulders, I'll tell you.
It really does blow my mind. Like, I think every single one of us that saw him play last year was like, all right, well, he'll be at NC State next year. He'll be at, Seton Hall. He'll be at wherever it is.
Right.
I know he's a Jersey kid.
Villanova.
Rutgers. Yeah, we joked, but, like, with all due respect, I said, like, that's the type of player that I would have liked to have seen Buzz Williams get at Maryland.
Yeah.
But, Pat Skerry says, no.
No, you can't have him.
Not having that. He's sticking around here.
He hugged him pretty tight.
Oh, I have no doubt that was the best news that Pat Skerry could have ever gotten. All right, hour number 1 in the books for today's show. When we come back in, Stan, you said you needed to run to the car for a second, right?
Yeah.
Isn't that what you said?
Yeah,
All
I
right.
got to get something.
Got to grab something from the car. That's good. So Stan will do that, and we'll catch up with Michael Pierce to talk to him about his retirement from the NFL. That's on the way. It is a Friday edition of Glenn Clark Radio.
Discover luxury without limits at Live Casino and Hotel Maryland. This April, unlock a world of high fashion delights and exclusive style. Earn entries daily starting April 1st and join our drawing on Friday, April 25th. 19 will win up to $2,000 in cash and free play. And one grand prize winner will take home a curated Versace homeware collection. At Arundel Mills, must be 21. Please play responsibly. For help, visit mdgamblinghelp.org or call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Driving in Maryland? Did you know an Easy Pass from DriveEasyMD.com can save you time and money? Of course you did, because you are a thrifty driver. An antenna reads your Easy Pass transponder and automatically deducts the toll from your Easy Pass account. Learn more at DriveEasyMD.com.
What makes the Costas Inn so special? This is Stan the Fan telling you that it's the people that work for you, cooking and serving. But that menu is also special with a capital S. Soups, salads, the raw bar, pasta dishes, seafood specialties, and entrees like the Costas Combo, steaks, chops, ribs, amazingly delicious meatloaf, and all manner of delicious filling sandwiches, including pit beef and turkey and subs. Of course, the steamed crabs are as good as you can get anywhere, and they serve them 12 months a year. The crab cakes are out of this world. Costas is open 7 days a week for lunch and dinner at 4100 North Point Boulevard, and coming soon, very soon, Costas in Timonium at the OTB Parlor at Timonium Racecourse. We'll get you the opening date real soon.
Gambling can be a fun and entertaining experience, but there are risks involved. If you're planning on betting on the game at the casino or on your phone or computer, know your limit, stay within it. Set a budget and a time to stop. Remember, gambling isn't a financial solution, and it doesn't mix well with alcohol or drugs. Know the risks and have a plan before you begin gambling. For free and confidential services, call 1-800-GAMBLER 24/7 or go to helpmygamblingproblem.org.
Want to improve your golf game or learn to play for the first time? The Baltimore Golf Academy has fun, instructional programs for the beginner golfer to everyday players. The Baltimore Golf Academy can take your game to the next level. Enroll today at baltimoregolfacademy.com.
Whether your focus is luxury and comfort, convenience and technologically advanced connectivity, or sporty performance and aggressive styling, we've got the perfect Highlander for you. Check out buyatoyota.com for deals on new Highlanders from your local Toyota dealer today.
Coming back in here with Glenn and the other guy, Garrett, whatever his name is. You know who they are.
All right, back in here on GCR as we're moving into hour number 2 of today's program. Don't forget.
I'm in my car.
Yeah, Stan had to run out to the car real quick. So don't forget. Stan, I know you probably got big plans for WrestleMania this weekend, right? Like, I know you're a man. You haven't missed one. This is WrestleMania 41, and I think you went to like 7 of them, didn't you?
9.
9? 9. That's unbelievable. I've only made it.
Kowalski.
Right. I've only been to 4.
Yeah,
right.
Been to 9.
That's actually true. I've actually been to 4. Wait, I went to Orlando.
Where'd you go?
I went to Orlando for sure. I went to New Orleans. I went to New York, and then last year I went to Philadelphia. Yeah, I've been to 4.
Which was the best one? Last year's?
The best one for WrestleMania itself, or the best one for like my experience?
Both.
Because New Orleans,
okay.
Like, come on, man. Although I don't remember much of that WrestleMania. That was a different time in my life. I don't.
It was Cody finishing his story.
Last year, yes. I know that matters a lot to you. I say all that to say, if you don't have plans yet for WrestleMania this weekend, or if you already have plans,
come to Glenn's house.
Cancel them. No, well, my house this weekend is Sports and Social at Live Casino and Hotel. Wow. For the ultimate ring showdown at Sports and Social. We're going to be watching Mania on the big 100-foot media wall. Yes, they'll have the other, the basketball, the hockey playoffs up on the side screens. And, actually, the Orioles don't play a night game this weekend, so that's good news. We don't have to worry about that. No conflict there. But, yeah, we'll have the other stuff up on the side screens. But the main screen will be WrestleMania 41. We will be there 7 o'clock both nights with great giveaways throughout the course of the night. In between matches, we're doing trivia contests.
Is there a championship match?
Well, there are multiple championship matches.
Yeah, who got Stan?
Yeah, who do you like?
I have no idea.
All right, this is actually a good exercise.
yeah.
Cody Rhodes or John Cena?
Oh, Cena. Yeah,
Cena. CM Punk, Roman Reigns, or Seth Rollins?
Seth freaking Rollins.
Why are there 3 of them?
It's a triple threat match, Stan.
And he didn't give you his full name. His name is Seth freaking Rollins.
It's his government name. Yes, correct.
So it's
CM Punk, Seth freaking Rollins, or Roman Reigns?
Roman Reigns.
Roman Reigns he goes with. Yeah. What about Gunther and Jey Uso for the Raw Championship?
Uso.
Okay,
Jey Uso. I like
that.
That is a good pick.
Good pick.
Yeah, he's been down since day one. He knows.
Can you bet on these?
Not there. Okay. But there are places where you can.
Okay.
There are places where you can. And then I'll give you the women's matches, and we'll see how you do.
Okay.
Well, you won't be here next Friday, but we'll check back in a couple weeks and see if Stan would have been a big winner.
I'd rather just stick with the men.
Yo, you want to just stick with those?
I don't know that much about the women's.
No, you stay. It's really weird. That's really weird. This is
what's
Charlotte Flair.
Who's the one that was on Dancing with the Stars?
I don't know.
She's from Baltimore.
Oh, Stacy Keibler. Yes, Stacy.
She's
no
longer
involved. Yeah, she dated George Clooney famously.
Yeah.
Charlotte Flair.
Yeah.
That's Ric Flair's daughter against Tiffany Stratton.
Tiffany Stratton.
Mm-hmm. They call her Tiffy Time.
I'm in.
You're in Tiffy Time.
Tiffy
time. So we'll go with Tiffany Stratton.
Yeah.
And then the other women's championship match will be another triple threat. I know you struggle with these sometimes.
Right.
Bianca Belair, Rhea Ripley, and Io Sky.
Give me Bianca.
I mean Belair, right? Like
you gotta take mommy.
Yeah, it's actually Bianca Belair. That's the
Bianca Belair.
Belair.
No, I'm taking mommy.
You think we didn't have some fun when it was when they announced it was going to be Coach Buzz at Maryland? You think we didn't have a little fun saying
Coach Buzz?
Very excited about that. Anyway, come out and hang out with us for Mania this weekend. We'll have great giveaways all weekend at Sports and Social inside Live Casino and Hotel.
Got to go out to my car.
All right, Stan's headed out to the car, and look at the timing of that. Right now, it just so happens to be. I had to do this a little bit earlier because of his schedule, but an opportunity to catch up with one of my favorites, Michael Pierce, right here on GCR. Well, this one might be a little emotional for me. I think everybody that listens to this show knows how much I feel about this guy. He announced his retirement from the NFL just a couple of weeks back, and he's been a regular with us over the years. He's helped us help out the people in our community that need it, and he's just one of the best people that I've ever gotten to know that's worn the purple and black. He is the great Michael Pierce, and he is back with us this morning here on GCR. Michael, it's Glenn. It's always good to catch up with you, brother. Thank you for taking the time for us.
Oh, no, my pleasure, man. I appreciate you having me on.
Man, all right, so when did you know, Michael? Like, take me back. When did you know this was the last ride and you had started to make peace with it?
I would say honestly, it's like OTAs. That OTA, the last OTAs we had there, obviously prior to this year, I tore my quad. Because it was an OTAs, it didn't make the media or anything, but that's why I sat out all of the OTAs to follow in the little 3-day mini camp. But yeah, man, I tore my quad. We opted not to do surgery so I could play the whole season. And that rehab was just grueling, man. And then to be able to get myself back in shape and get myself ready for fall camp was obviously more hard because I had missed so many leg days and all these other things. So I promised my wife when I signed my 2-year extension, if I had, another surgery or something serious go on that, I would probably be done. And then, I tore my calf the same year, last year, and missed like 4 to 5 games. So at that point, I think that was.
You said.
It was no convincing my wife there was nothing else to be done. So, even though we made it back from the quad, the calf came up. So, I've torn enough muscles and got acquainted with too many surgery rooms. So, man, I love the game. Like I said, I'm still probably going to be around the game in some capacity, probably for the rest of my life.
Mm-hmm.
But as far as me playing, brother, like I said, unfortunately, the trenches caught up to me.
I understand that, man. Was it at all tough knowing how well you've played these last couple of years? Like, to take nothing away from anything that you've done in the past in your career, but all the work you had to do to get back to this level, and then reminding everyone, no, this is who Michael Pierce is. There's a reason why I'm a starter in the NFL, and the time that I missed, forget about it. Did that make it tougher knowing what it took in order to get back to this level that you got back to in Baltimore?
Yeah, certainly, man. Like I said, it's hard to make people understand the amount of work that those guys and, myself, that goes into each and every season. Y'all see, strictly Sundays, right?
Mm-hmm.
But there's, 2 weeks after the season starts, you go back into a routine, trying to get yourself better and better and better for each and every season. So, no, man, it was a blessing to be able to play at a high level again, despite my injury and then sitting out for COVID. But like I said, man, it was very hard. Like I said, I had a long talk with my dad, and, he still felt like, and Coach Harbaugh actually mentioned he thought I could play for another 2 or 3 years. This was before I even notified them that I would probably be retiring. So to have people just say that and, obviously to have the film speak for itself is awesome. But no, it definitely made it harder. But like I said, I always pride myself on trying to be a man of my word. And obviously, like I said, I couldn't expect a random season of luck after having those 2 major injuries. So I think my wife would be very, very pissed if I was pressing for OTAs this week. If that were today. So yeah, my home would not be happy, even though I probably would be having fun. I would not be coming home to a happy place.
Michael Pierce is with us here on GCR. I've had the pleasure to meet your wife a couple of times. She's an incredibly smart person. What was when you first got together? Like, was this part of the plan? Like, hey, I know that you guys have talked about other things that you want to do. Like, was this something that you had always kind of laid out about getting married and sort of starting that part of your life?
Yeah. So no, I actually announced. The last time when I signed my extension in 2023, that would be the last contract that I signed. So no, I definitely intended on finishing out the contract, which would have been this past season. But yeah, man, we got married. This will be our 2nd year of marriage, but we want to have a kid, and more importantly for me, I want to be there for like all the pregnancy days. I don't have to miss camp or miss something for, my wife having a baby, and I'm not there all the time. So we're not pregnant as of yet, but that's something that we definitely plan on working on. So like I said, I just want to be present. I want to be around my family. Like I said, we've been playing 9 years in the trenches, man. It was certainly a blessing, but it's time for me to give back to my community. Just find other ways I can impact. So
That's
maybe,
powerful.
One day Mr. DaCosta or Ozzy or somebody to give me a job and I can scout like Ozzy one day. Who knows? But no, man. Other than that, man. It's like I said, football will always be a part of my life.
That's awesome, man. Okay, so did the guys all know? Like, we know they would have lost their minds for the interception no matter what, because it's like the coolest thing we've ever seen in the history of football. But did they know the context as well? Like, were they aware that this was probably the end for you? And did you sense that some of that was coming out in that moment?
No, they didn't. They knew that I was supposed to retire after this season, though, because, like I said, I made that announcement while I was on the Ravens podcast. But no, so they didn't necessarily know. I know a couple people, like towards the end, after we got over the Buffalo thing, on the plane back, was like, "Hey, you coming back next year, right?" And I was like, "I don't know." So, obviously that was just not the right place or time. But yeah, man, no, I still took my time to think about it. But like I said, for me, it was just been, a far-fetched dream to assume I'd be healthy after having those 2 major injuries. And, I dealt with a lot of pain this year. So, no, they didn't know. But like I said, I think God wrote me a beautiful ending to my last
That's
home
the
game.
part, right? Like, look, man,
Yeah.
I know it would have been better if it had been the Super Bowl. Like, I understand that. Like, that's the ending that you're
100%.
supposed to get in the movie. But to have that moment And the way the crowd reacted and the way that everybody on the sideline lost their mind the final time you were able to play, like, can you put into words what all of that meant to you?
Like I said, outside of being in the Super Bowl, which was not maybe 2 hours from my hometown, that is a storybook ending anybody else outside of Aaron Donald could write, right? He won the Super Bowl and walked away. Kind of like, matter of fact, Ray Lewis.
Yep.
Same thing.
Yep.
So outside of those, super dream scenarios, it could not get any better from a nose guard from Mobile, Alabama. So, no, man, it's crazy how things work out. And like I said, I'm just grateful that I, one, caught the pass, and then did not run too far to make it. Well, it went viral anyway, but it would have been worse, especially limping down the sideline on a torn calf. That would have been hilarious. So, I kept my dignity, brother, and like I said, I made a memorable play. Like I said, for that to be my last home game, that was pretty awesome.
What you just alluded to, a nose guard from a small town in Alabama, undrafted, and someone who I think the word that I read, there wasn't even really a lot of a scouting tape on for the scouting services. To have had the opportunities that you've had. I've heard you use the word blessing a couple times, and I can feel it. And knowing you, I believe every ounce of it. But do you take a moment to reflect on how truly special this has been that you have been able to have as long of a run and all of the things that you've been able to do in this league?
Yeah, it took me a while, man. I just, like, my wife had put together, like, a lot of my friends, like, just saying, like, nice things about my career and then, fun 9 years it's been. It took me forever to watch that, I'm not going to lie. But, no, man, I just sat down one day and I just went through some stuff. And like I said, I was putting out YouTube videos at Sanford of my highlights my junior year, my senior year, just in hopes that, it didn't work like that. I didn't know that at the time. But in hopes that somebody see me lifting weights or doing something crazy to give me a chance to get to the NFL. So to be able to play in a storied franchise and, have Haloti Nada know my name, Kelly Gregg, playing next to Terrell Suggs, Brandon Williams, Eric Weddle. I mean, I played with some Hall of Famers, man. Jack is going to be a Hall of Famer one day. So it's literally inconceivable. So like I said, man, from trying to put out YouTube videos of highlights to, squatting 700 pounds and assuming the NFL would see that on YouTube didn't make a lot of sense. But like I said, from a boy from Mobile,
it worked.
I was doing the best I could. So, no, man, for me to be able to, like I said, live and play in one of the most storied franchises in the NFL is mind-blowing, man. So that's why I always just tell everybody I'm just grateful to be here.
What about Baltimore, right? The fact that it started here and you were able to come back here and write two unbelievable chapters in a football life. What is this place? I wrote about in the Prentice Show press box what it meant to me that you wanted to do so many things for this community. Can you describe what Baltimore has meant to you in your life?
I mean, man, that's my second home. I was joking with my wife, but I wasn't really. It is 81 degrees down here in Mobile, Alabama. It's hot, man. And I told my friends I'm a DMV guy about it in my heart now. I know y'all got great weather up here right now, but no, man. Like I said, it's like home. That's where I've started my adult life. I came there when I was 22. I'm leaving at 32, 24. Yeah, I came in at 24, 23, and I'm leaving at 32, man. So like I said, that's the second home for me. And I just love the community. I actually have family there. They've been there way before I got to the team. But I just made so many friends, built such a big community that extends to the furthest ends that people don't even know or care too much about, Ravens or the NFL. Just because of, God put me in great rooms and around great people. So, like I said, Baltimore is always the second home for me. Like I said, maybe one day I'll come up there and scout and live there again. But, no, man, I have so much love for this city. It's, like I said, man, I consider myself a DMV guy, not only for the weather, but, it's just where I built
you're saying
a mass of friendships and and great time.
You're saying a 300-pound man, the heat is a little bit different in Alabama than it is when you're walking around. There have been a lot of, I feel like it's offensive linemen over the years. Like, the moment they get out of football, they change their shape, they change everything about. Like, are you doing the same thing? Are you, like, completely detoxing and saying, I can't?
I'm not gonna lie to you, brother. I hired a bodybuilding coach, so I always love to lift weights. So I'm always gonna lift weights. But he does my diet now. He does all my nutritional things. So that's the first thing I knew I needed to do was get hooked up with a guy who can help me lean out, help me drop all this unnecessary weight, and I don't have to take on double teams any longer. So man, we definitely on that journey. There's no need to be walking around heavy any longer. So man, like I said, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed my time, and like I said, it's just a different phase of life now that comes with a lot more cardio. Not fun, but necessary.
I was going to say this answers the other question, which is if there were to be two defensive linemen that got hurt, like in January, and the Ravens are trying to win a Super Bowl, you're saying don't even bother calling. I'm not going to be in shape. It's not happening.
Outside of a miracle, my weight regimen is completely different, unfortunately.
I get it, man. I get it. Michael Pierce, I can't tell you how happy I am for you, man. Truly, one of the best people that I've ever gotten to know, and there's a lot of people on that list. It's funny you say that maybe one day it works out that way. Are you is it the purposeful plan to be doing something football related in the coming years?
Yes. I'm actually at some point going to try to talk with the Senior Bowl down here in Mobile.
Oh, yeah.
Just get connected with those guys. They just had a whole, staff overhaul. They had Jim Nagy go to Oklahoma as a GM. So now they just hired a new guy. I forget his name. This just happened recently. But once he gets in, I'll try to see if there's any way I can be of assistance, and then go from there. And if not, I briefly spoke to Mr. DaCosta about maybe wanting to scout.
Man.
So I'll brush that subject. And like I said, I have a boss ahead of me now. That's my wife. And if she gives me the okay, I'm always down to move back and help the organization if I can.
We could get a.
We'll deal with that down the road. But as of right now, I'm going to focus on things at home.
One day, maybe a Michael Pierce Ravens Super Bowl ring is still in the cards. That's what I like the sounds of. I think that would be wonderful. Michael.
Hopefully so, brother.
You're the best, man. Thank you for everything. The joy that you brought on the football field, all the time you took for us, and everything you did for this community. Love you. Appreciate you. Thank you for hopping on with us this morning, man.
Love you too, brother.
I love Michael Pierce, man. It's my guy, and I did write about him in this month's issue of Press Box. Just a special human being, and I did not realize that there was a torn calf on top of everything else, which is nuts to think about. As he said then, I didn't want to be a meme, and he ended up being a meme for I think better. I think even if he had taken off down the sideline. The joy that everybody had watching that football play overcomes whatever internet fun we would have had with big man running down the sideline and not getting to the. Everyone loved that. People who had no idea who Michael Pierce was loved that. It was just a spectacular football play, really.
We only get 6 covers now.
Mm-hmm.
We used to, in the old days, 52 covers.
Right, yeah, one every week.
And then we went to 12.
Yeah.
I really think a great cover story would be, and I don't know what month it would be, but would be the battle of a retired player to take all that weight off. I mean, we've got, what was the guy's name? We picked him up, I think, from the Denver Broncos. He stayed around here. He ended up taking.
Oh, Trevor Price.
No, not Trevor Price.
No?
He was an offensive lineman.
Offensive lineman.
He took OJ's job.
Oh, Harry Swain.
Harry Swain.
Yep.
Harry Swain still alive?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Harry Swain lost about 140 pounds.
100%.
Matt
Burke quickly.
Yes.
Quickly. And Marshall Yonda.
Marshall Yonda.
Quickly lost a lot of weight.
I think it would be an interesting cover story.
I think it is it's something that it's funny. I remember, I think I told the story. Matt Burke was at the Super Bowl in New York and I guess saw me and came up and like grabbed me around the neck, like just to mess, because I had a good relationship with Matt Burke when he was here. And
so
I
tried to break your neck.
Yeah, I had no idea. I legitimately
know who it was.
did not know who it was.
Yeah.
Like, I'm staring at him, and I still couldn't. And like, fine.
Where in sports is there the equivalent to what they do? They train football players, linemen, to gain weight, to get bigger, stronger, and then who's there? When you're
over.
20 years old and you bust your knee and you can't really work out anymore to lose the weight. I mean, it's really to me, it's something I've always been sensitive to, is almost like a forced obesity for these people. And it's fascinating to me when a player retires and knowingly takes upon it to lose 100.
And how quickly they try to do it. They say, look, it's over. Like, there is no in between here.
They
there
realize,
is no,
I think it's a great story.
It's over, and I need it to be over because I can't put my body through this anymore. And one of the arguments they make is like, hey, when we're playing, at least we are working out every day, right? Like, we are doing, and it's just not going to be like that moving forward. We can't put our body through this. We have to get the weight off immediately now.
I think it's fascinating.
It is interesting. I don't disagree with you at all, Stan.
So I've got your support.
Well, I think we've got an idea for the next one, so I don't know when.
No. I'm talking within a year.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah. Then I'm in favor of it. I think it's a good story.
Yeah.
All right. I appreciate Michael Pierce taking the time for us. Truly great guy, and wishing him well. And as he alluded to, perhaps there's a world in which
Sorry,
Michael.
I had to go out.
I know you had to get to the car. I understand that. He said thank you, actually.
Had
All
to
right.
go get something to eat out of the car.
Let's continue along here. Stan is with us on a Friday edition of GCR. It's time for us to make our weekly trip to Bowie to chat with a member of the Chesapeake Baysox, and our next guest is off to a tremendous start to the season. He just pitched 5 shutout innings the other night down in Richmond in his second start of the season. He is gunning them down. Like, his strikeout numbers have been exceptional so far to start the year. Through 2 starts, Stan, in 8 2/3 innings. He struck out 11. He's walked 2. That'll play. Joining us this morning, he is Baysox pitcher Ryan Long, and he's with us now here on GCR. Ryan, it's Glenn and Stan here in Baltimore. It's great to chat with you, man. Thank you for taking a couple of minutes for us.
Hey, guys. Thanks for having me on. Appreciate it.
All right. I have to are you sticking – I saw in the picture on your profile that you had the fighting necklace on. We've seen the Orioles go back to the fighting necklaces. Are you stuck around? Are you a believer in the fighting necklace?
You know what? Actually, I did that all last year. So I was one of the early ones on it.
You were back on the bandwagon before everybody else was.
Yeah, I guess so. This year, I have not been wearing it. I decided to go no necklace this year. It's gotten off to an okay start, so I'm going to stick with it for now.
I was going to say.
But I did wear it all last year.
So, but I know the numbers, and I never know because, like, sometimes numbers don't tell the story, particularly for minor league players, because I know sometimes you guys are specifically working on certain things, and you'd be like, yeah, you might see the numbers, but I was actually happy. But was this a thing where it didn't go so well last year, so you said, the hell with that, I'm getting rid of the necklace, and now you're 2 starts in, and it's going great, and you're saying, I'll never wear it again?
That's part of it, for sure. Yep.
What is it about baseball players and super? Do you have others? Do you have other superstitions? Like
yeah. Yeah, of course. I mean, I've tried as I've gotten older. I've tried to kind of ease away from them, and anything that is not obviously an impact on performance. I've tried to just I try to not pay attention to as much, whether it's like a pregame playlist or wearing the same clothes. I've tried to do the best I can to just be focused on the performance itself, but small things like this, they matter a little bit, and so you buy into them, a small amount.
Dude, it's not just you; it's everyone that has ever played the sport.
Oh yeah,
it's
absolutely.
just the way that it works. Ryan, what have you felt best about this season? What is it through 2 starts that you'd say is there a new pitch? Is there something that you put a particular emphasis on, or is it just I'm doing all the same things, I'm just getting better results this time around?
Yeah, it's a combination of a couple of things. I think on one hand, I have a better feel for my overall arsenal, and a pitch I worked on a lot last year was my splitter, and worked on that over the offseason a lot, and it's become more of a weapon this year. Last year was a bit inconsistent. I didn't know quite as much where it was going, what the movement would be on that, but after working on that a lot at the end of the year and then over the offseason, that's become one of my best off-speed offerings that I can go to with 2 strikes in the count to hopefully get some strikeouts. So that's been a good change. And then the second thing I'd say is just really trying to shift the mindset from more of the development aspect, which I've been in for the last few years. It's been a heavy emphasis on, trying to develop, trying to improve my pitch mix, to this year it's more of, hey, let's go out there and get out. Put everything together, try and see the results all come together, and so far it's been working well.
Ryan, I know this year it's only 2 starts and 8 2/3 innings, but last year you gave up 21 home runs in 97 innings, and I know it's only 8 2/3. So far you haven't given up a home run, and the strikeout to walk ratio, 11-2, is certainly not that your strikeout to walks were bad in the past, but this is something new. Is there something you're doing? You just explained a little of it, but why are you getting such better results, you think?
I'll talk on the home runs. I talked a lot with my coaches and my coordinators last year because I was obviously a little bit frustrated with the amount of home runs I was giving up. And, it was a combination of a couple things. One was just bad luck. I think there was a few times where I actually felt like I executed a pitch well, and a guy was either just sitting on it or got a bit lucky with it. Obviously, out in Bowie, we play in a bit of a hitter's park, so sometimes that just happens. But the other thing is, I think my execution so far has been better, and like I said, it's only been 2 starts in, so it's not a big sample size, but I feel like I have been executing better in counts where hitters in the pack have been ready for a certain pitch and have been hitting home runs on it. With my 4-seam fastball, it has a lot of hop or ride, which is one thing the Orioles value a lot. It's like the thing where a fastball looks like it looks like it's rising a bit. And that's one thing that helps me with my fastball, but it can also hurt in the sense that if a hitter
you turn it around,
knows it's coming,
yeah,
and exactly, they can get under it, but if they get under it at the right angle, it can go a little bit. So I've been using my fastball, I think, a little bit smarter so far this year, trying to keep hitters off balance from that. My best off speed last year was my cutter, so I've been using that a little bit more this year to try and make sure hitters don't stay on that fastball, and so far it's been working well.
He is Ryan Long of the Chesapeake Baysox. He's with us here on GCR. Ryan, a lot is made about that jump to Double-A and how it becomes like the place where it gets real, right? And this is where you're facing now major league competition. Did you experience like any of that? I know you got there back in 2023. Did it take a minute to like maybe adjust to like simply the level of competition that you were facing that was different, and is maybe that part of what you're experiencing now is just having a lot of time at that level that you feel like, right, I'm comfortable now. I know I can get these types of players out no matter how good they are.
Yes, absolutely. I'd say that jump from high A to Double-A was, the biggest jump I've ever had in my playing career. The hitters just are a lot more refined. Lineups feel longer, in the sense that in high A, you have your guys that can really hit at the top of the order, but when you get into the 6, 7, 8 spots in the lineup, if you're executing your stuff, you can generally get them out. In Double-A, like I said, the lineups are longer. You got guys near the bottom of the order that have really refined approaches. Some guys have time up at AAA. So it just makes you have to be a lot more locked into your approach throughout the entire game. However, after now about a year and a half in Double-A, I've started to figure out, how hitters approach the game. I've done more game planning in the sense that I watch a lot of video, do a lot of game planning for all the hitters in the lineup to try and figure out how I'm going to approach them. And I felt like I figured that out a bit at the end of last year, and I just didn't execute on it quite as much. So this year, the goal is just to take what I've learned and now execute a little bit more. Use the tools I've built over these last few years to be able to execute more. So I'd say it was definitely a jump, and it definitely is a much higher level than any of the high or lower levels. But over time, you just adjust to it.
Ryan, I had to ask you about a player you played with a piece of last year, and that's Sammy Basayo.
Yep.
I don't know how amazed you are by some of the feats of teammates and all that. How special do you think he's got a chance to be, and what type of catcher is he?
Yeah, I mean, he has a chance to be, you know, a truly amazing MLB player, honestly. Like, his skills, I'd say, at the plate are just unbelievable. You'll see him taking batting practice, you know, even hitting in games, and the ball just comes off the bat differently. And, you know, I played with him for about a year, I'd say, and, you know, he's a great guy, a great teammate, a really fun guy to have around. You know, I'd say his catching definitely improved a lot over last year. You know, when he came up to AA, it was definitely, you know, that was the part of the game that he clearly needed the most work on. You know, it was his like pitch calling that, you know, you could tell he hadn't practiced a ton. But over the year, man, he took some really big jumps, and by the end of the year, you know, as a pitching staff, we felt a lot more confident working with him. His receiving got a lot better. You know, his arm talent was always there. He's got a just cannon for an arm, so that's something that he's always had. It's going to be a big skill for him. But yeah, man, I mean, what I've seen in spring training so far, he's really, really improved on that, and I think he has a chance to be a really good catcher at the big league level. He also plays a solid first base. You know, he has a lot of options there for him, and with that bat, man, he could be a real star.
And you were impressed with his work ethic in terms of trying to improve his catching?
Absolutely, yeah. He cares about it a lot. He works on it hard. I mean, being a young guy at the AA level, it's, you know, it was impressive to see how hard he worked and how hard he cared about it. And, you know, you know, it was obvious to see his improvements, and, you know, it seems like he's only gotten better at that stuff going forward.
Ryan, I got to know the story. Getting involved, I'm sure it's a family member, but Great Britain baseball. How did this come about? How did you end up with them? And what is like the possibility that like we could see you pitching in the Olympics here in a couple of years?
Yeah. So my mom was born in England.
Okay.
Her family is from there. Her dad immigrated over to the Washington State area to be a engineer at Boeing. So she moved over when she was young. I'm actually a dual citizen now too.
Okay.
So I have my British citizenship. I got interested in hopefully playing with a team in the WBC before the 2023 one. I was just like kind of watching them play, and I was like, hey, I think I probably qualify for this. So I reached out to my college coach, and I was like, hey, you know anyone on this team that I could get in contact with to say I'm interested? And you know, he kind of put some feelers out, and you know, I got a spot on the team, and man, it was an amazing experience, probably the best baseball experience I've ever had. It was such a cool time to be able to play with those guys, being able to represent a country like that, be on the world stage, throw against teams like the Team USA squad.
It's so cool.
So yeah, it was an amazing experience, and yeah, I mean, I've already told them I'd love nothing more than to play again for them in the in the 2026 WBC. You know, I don't know what the Olympics are going to look like, but I would love to do anything like
it's
that.
fascinating. We were having the conversation earlier, right? But like, are you, if you're at the bigs by that point, and like, would you be in favor of, hey, I'd love to? I know it's different for you because you're a pitcher, and there's the innings thing, and I know that becomes difficult. But we've heard a lot of guys talk about how they're hoping that major leaguers will be allowed to participate in the Olympics in 2028. Would you say, hell yeah, let's go. I'll do 10 more innings that season if that's what it takes.
100%. I would love that. I mean, yeah, if I'm in the big leagues at that point, I would totally want to play in the Olympics. 100%. I don't know what that'll look like. You know, obviously it's tough with the in-season stuff, but yeah, I would be in favor of that.
I'm just curious, Ryan. Does the Great Britain team take tea time like at 4 o'clock in the afternoon or something like that?
Well, I'm personally a big tea drinker. I grew up having a bunch of tea, so I have tea every night. So it's definitely part of my routine.
Is there anything else about you that's particularly British? Like, is there anything else like that you like recognize like that part of your heritage? Yeah, anything like that?
I'm not so sure if anything else comes across that way. I love I mean, I spent some time over in London this offseason. I have family and friends there. I love the city over there. You know, they have a blossoming baseball culture too, which is
cool.
awesome.
Yeah.
You know, just the food my family makes definitely has some British side to it. My mom's a good chef though, so it's not the bad British chef stereotype. So but yeah, no, it's definitely an important part of my.
I feel like the two stereotypes are like a British food is like beans for breakfast. Do you do beans for breakfast? Okay, all right.
I don't, but when I'm over in London, I have them and I love it.
Okay.
I kind of wish I did more.
And then the other stereotype is that British food is just Indian food, right? Like that's the other stereotype.
So, funny story on that, I'd say that that is one thing that definitely shows up. I love Indian food.
Okay.
I actually got a group of minor leaguers starting in 2023 to do weekly Indian food meals. So
that's dope.
We would go, we started out in Aberdeen. It was me, Alex Pham, Daniel Fetterman, and Cooper Chandler, and it was the four of us. And by this spring training, we got about 16 of us down in Sarasota to all go to an Indian food night. So
that's cool.
That's one
man.
thing I've kind of taken the lead on.
That's really cool. I dig that. When you get to Baltimore, they just redid a restaurant out by me a couple years ago. It's called Pierce's Plantation, and it's an Indian place now. And I'm telling you, it's wonderful. We'll take you out when you get up here.
I'll be there.
Make that happen.
I'll be there.
I know on Twitter it's RyanJL17, correct?
That's correct.
And then what about on Instagram?
Same thing.
Same thing. Give them a follow there. And the Baysox are back home next week, starting on Tuesday night. Events include Military Appreciation Night, STEM Day, Happy Hour on Thursday, Glow in the Park next weekend, fireworks, and so much more. Find out more at Baysox.com.
Ryan, one more from me real quick. Alex Pham, you mentioned him. Does he have a chance to be something pretty good?
Absolutely. I mean, he's one of my best friends. He's been my roommate for about 3 years now, both at home and on the road. So I obviously am a bit biased there, but yeah, he's one of the hardest workers I've ever played with. He's got a really deep pitch mix. He knows how to pitch. I mean, he's a guy that I totally think even this year could have a good major league impact.
Love it.
Okay.
Ryan, really great to meet you and chat with you this morning. Really enjoyed the conversation. Rooting for you to continue this success all season long, and hopefully we're seeing you in Baltimore before too long. Thank you for doing this morning.
Absolutely. Thank you, guys. I appreciate it.
Ryan Long of the Chesapeake Baysox. I didn't even know that he had the dual citizenship. That's very cool. Got to participate in the World Baseball Classic. Ryan Long with us here on GCR. We come back in. We were going to meet an incoming Maryland basketball player, Isaiah Watts from Washington State. He's going to join us next. Stands here. It's a Friday edition of Glenn Clark Radio.
What makes the Costas Inn so special? This is Stan the Fan telling you that it's the people that work for you, cooking and serving. But that menu is also special with a capital S. Soups, salads, the raw bar, pasta dishes, seafood specialties, and entrees like the Costas combos, steaks, chops, ribs, amazingly delicious meatloaf, and all manner of delicious spilling sandwiches, including pit beef and turkey and subs. Of course, the steamed crabs are as good as you can get anywhere, and they serve them 12 months a year. The crab cakes are out of this world. Costas is open 7 days a week for lunch and dinner at 4100 North Point Boulevard, and coming soon, very soon, Costas in Timonium at the OTB Parlor at Timonium Racecourse. We'll get you the opening date real soon.
Make the most out of every day in your Toyota RAV4. Available in hybrid or gas-only models. A RAV4 can get you where you want to go in style. Check out buyatoyota.com for deals on new RAV4s from your local Toyota dealer today.
The latest edition of Press Box is available now, and on the cover, Luke Jackson looks at the long road back from Tommy John surgery for Orioles closer Felix Bautista, as well as Kyle Bradish and Tyler Wells. Also inside, we learn more about new Maryland basketball coach Buzz Williams from the players who have played for him at other stops. Plus, evaluators around baseball chime in on Orioles' top prospect Samuel Basayo. Press Box is available for free at over 500 locations throughout the region, including 60 Royal Farm stores. Or you can read the entire issue online at PressBoxOnline.com, where you can also find great betting advice and the best daily coverage of the Orioles, Ravens, and Terps.
Need a trophy or award that's as unique as the achievement? Look no further than Crown Trophy. With locations in Owings Mills and Gaithersburg, they specialize in custom trophies, plaques, and medals for any occasion. From sports and academic awards to employee recognition and corporate gifts, visit crowntrophy.com today and let them help you create a lasting memory for your school, team, or business. Crown Trophy is a proud supporter of the Maryland Public Secondary Schools Athletic Association. crowntrophy.com.
One of the things that's definitely wrong with this country is that this dude still has a job somehow, some way. Glenn Clark.
All right, back in here on GCR as we are winding down for a Friday edition of the program and for the week. Stan, you, Ross, and Luke back together again on Monday?
Yep, we'll be together.
No, it's another Orioles off night, so you doing a night show on Monday? What's the...
I'm trying to remember now. There was a reason... I can't remember right now what time it'll be.
All right, it's going to happen on Monday. I know that.
Monday.
It's going to be on Monday. Stan the Fan, Ross Grimsley, Luke Jackson talking baseball with you. Facebook.com/PressBoxSports. If you miss it live, you can check it out, youtube.com/PressBoxOnline or PressBoxOnline.com/video. And as always, Stan's shows are brought to you by
the Costas Inn.
We love the Costas Inn.
Soon to be a second Costas Inn by the end of the month.
I keep driving by like every day. Like, come on, let me in.
I showed you the picture. They actually
I'm
had
very
the lights
excited.
on last night.
Very excited. Just a man who wants some cream of crab soup. Just please.
Just please.
Let
just
me.
Please.
I don't even need anything else. Just the soup. Just let me
Are
in.
you a cream person?
I am a cream of crab.
You're not the split?
I've done plenty of half and halves in my
you
life.
Like half and half? I've never had half and half.
I for years preferred half and half. In fact, I don't know when it hit me,
when
but
it hit you,
now it's like everywhere I go, I just want a
cream.
I just want a cream of crab soup. That's what I want. And I have, in fact,
how is the Costas' cream of crab?
It's top notch.
Top notch.
Top notch. One of the best
Top
cream of crab.
drawer.
Top notch cream of crab soup. I play on a trivia team every Monday night, and we actually thought about leaving and going to a different location to play trivia, and we went and checked it out, and they did not have a cream of crab soup.
Wow.
And my
restaurant.
my buddy. This is the second time my buddy Matt's gotten the push because it's his cousin that I brought up earlier. He and I, like, one of the joys that we have in life is just sitting and having a cup of cream of crab soup on a Monday. We're that age, and then talking about how good the soup is that week. We're of that age.
Well, the Costas Inn's got probably a great place outdoors during the summer months, like undercover, where you could probably do trivia out there.
I am a big fan. Looking forward to that. Looking forward to the new Costas Inn. All right, Isaiah Watts is going to join us in a minute. Griffin didn't get to this week in the rest of baseball because he doesn't like things that are
like being dictated.
He just doesn't like things that are interesting.
Also that as well.
Is that
the Iowa meat truck? You're trying to say the Iowa meat truck's not interesting?
It's mildly interesting.
You're trying to say the World Baseball Classic's not interesting? That Ryan Long clearly cares about?
You want to start a fight about it? Is that what you're doing?
Yeah.
So earlier this week, you know the name of the minor league team in Albuquerque, Stan?
The Isotopes.
That's correct. Of course, it's the Isotopes, which
I have
was
a T-shirt.
You have? It was inspired by The Simpsons years ago. So the Albuquerque Isotopes are affiliate of the Colorado Rockies. And in the 6th inning, they were playing El Paso.
Yep.
The game was tied 2-2. The bases were loaded. And then this happened. And since you can't watch it the way that everybody else is, I'll play it for you while Griffin plays it. 3, 2, 1.
The 3-2 runners go very high. Ball 4, another bases-loaded walk. And the Isotopes have taken a 3-2 lead. And now 2 runs have scored as the catcher threw it back. And now a throw to third is high. That gets away. Back on his feet. And 3 runs have scored. All on ball 4.
Aaron
Schunk with brilliant base running was the second runner to score. And then
you kind of missed the. You saw the video going? Okay. So watch. So runner comes in, all's good, and then they don't show the replay on this one. I was watching a different video. Basically, what happened was they throw it back. The runner because it was a 3-2 count.
Right.
The runners were going with 2 outs. So the runner from second is basically at third base.
Yeah.
What he notices is
that
he sort of lollipops the throw back, and the pitcher has his back turned to home plate because the pitcher's pissed off and frustrated about having walked the runner in.
Right.
And so he just on his own takes off towards home plate. The pitcher, nobody's apparently hollering like, hey, Joe.
Turn around. Right.
Pitcher never even throws the ball to home plate to try to get the out. By the time anybody realizes anything, he's now trying to throw to get the guy that's going now from first to third out, throws it away. 3-run score
Lesson
on a bases
learned
loaded
for that
walk.
pitcher.
No question about it. Yes, a bases loaded walk is bad.
Yeah, I'm showing it again now. I think this one should have the
This
replay.
video,
yeah,
with the
this is
replay.
This is fascinating.
Yeah, this probably should have been worthy of making it into this week and the rest of baseball.
I
This
don't
seemed
know.
this seemed really interesting.
I like the Iowa meat truck, though.
Thank you, Stan.
Listen to you trying to make him
You
feel
know
better.
something? I love the Iowa meat truck.
Me too, Stan. I like the Iowa meat truck as well.
That's your guy.
Big Peyton Williams
That's
guys
your
is
guy.
over here.
Anyway, yes, that also happened.
Did you,
in the
Griffin? I'm
rest of
just curious.
baseball.
Did you like my questions of Tyler Tejada about the groupies?
Yeah, they did. They
were really
it was entertaining.
Yeah. I like this guy.
Yeah, do you?
I like this guy.
Do you? You've tried to fire him 6 times. What are you doing over
8
there?
times.
I'm sorry. Yeah, right. Well, the 2, I thought you were just saying that you were leaving it up
It's
to me.
unbelievable to replay this because he doesn't even. No
He
one's
doesn't.
reacting.
100%. He's just walking back to the mound like nothing is happening. Or he's you can tell he's angry. You can tell he's pissed off at himself for having thrown ball 4 in that spot. Like he's angry, he's frustrated, but there is no.
It's a teachable moment.
It is a teachable moment. That's exactly what that is for whoever that.
You know, my life has been one long.
One
teachable
long. Now, what have you learned from it, Stan? What have you come out on the other side? How's it? Do you know the El Paso team name?
Diablos.
Not the Diablos. No.
The
It is Spanish and it is inspired.
Paso. No, I can't.
The El Paso Chihuahuas. Chihuahuas. The AAA team in El
They're
Paso.
not the flying Chihuahuas.
I don't believe so. No. That's the thing now in my kids' little league. They're all taking on goofy minor league names.
Right.
So last year they were the Yard Goats. This year they're the Space Cowboys. Like this is they're just taking on the goofier the minor league name, the better. Because
Do they let the kids pick the name?
No, they pick them out ahead of time, and I think part of the deal was there was such a fight over they used to be major league team. It used to be like the Orioles, and then everybody wanted to be on the Orioles, and then all the kids were upset.
Now
that
everybody
they didn't,
wants to be on the Space Cowboys.
whatever. They just don't want to have the fight over the Orioles. They don't want to have that. Or if they make them the Yankees and then kids are pissed off or whatever it is. They just wanted to get rid of all of that, so they went with silly minor league names. Although last year the other team was the Tides. That's not a very silly minor league name.
No.
That's just the Orioles AAA affiliate. I don't know what that is.
They're a very professional outfit.
Yeah, right. I don't
How
know.
about the Iowa meat truck?
They should make them
just
the
rename
Iowa
them.
meat trucks. I'm in favor of that. All right, time for us to meet an incoming Maryland basketball transfer as he announced just a little while ago that he would be headed to the University of Maryland after his last stop at Iowa State. Joining us now, he is Isaiah Watts, and he is with us here on GCR. Isaiah, it's Glenn and Stan here in Baltimore. It's great to chat with you. Thank you for taking the time, and congratulations.
Appreciate you guys.
Hey, man.
How you guys doing?
We're all right,
We're good.
Isaiah. I got to tell you, Stan is a little bit older than not just you. He's even older than I am. Stan, when he found out that you were your grandson's or grandfather's grandson, he was like, "Oh my God, I've got a million questions." He watched your grandfather play basketball probably 20 times, something like that, in person. I know I know he recently passed away. Can you set into motion for me what it meant to you? And I know your father was a basketball player too, but growing up, being of the lineage of the great Slick Watts, what did it mean to you to live up to that man and everything that he's been able to do, not just in basketball, but as a human being?
Man, it meant everything for me. It still does to this day. You know, for me, growing up around him, I didn't even know he was famous. I didn't know he was a famous basketball player. I didn't know he played in the NBA because he was so just real and so he was open to everybody. Everybody could touch him. Everybody could talk to him. And he really showed me the way. So living up to that is super important for me.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome. Being both the
Yes,
grandson and the son of a basketball player, did you always know that basketball was the path for you, Isaiah? Did you ever say, like, hey, man, I don't know, maybe I want to go play soccer or something like that?
Yeah. I tried baseball for a minute, but I'm from Seattle where it's cold during the springtime, so that really wasn't a choice for me. But as soon as I picked up basketball, I knew I was going to take off and run with it. So
now you're from Seattle, which is where Slick
Yes, sir.
played Slick, your grandfather played most of his professional career. Why?
Yes, sir.
And you were with Washington State, so why the transfer to Maryland?
Really, Coach Buzz. He was the only coach to really talk to me about becoming a man. And for me, that is more important than it's more important than a lot of this basketball stuff. For me, because basketball is gonna stop at the end of the day. You're gonna have maybe 40 years of life without basketball. So becoming a man was really important for me, and he talked to me about growing as a basketball player and growing as a man.
Did you know anything about Coach Buzz before? Had he ever
had he ever
recruited you beforehand? Anything like that?
Nah, this is the first time I really talked to Coach Buzz, and obviously, he's a legendary coach, so you know about him. Everybody knows about him. But this is the first time I really talked to him, and when I did, I was just in awe.
That's cool. Now, you've done this before, right? Like in high school, you came to the East Coast and played a year in Connecticut, correct?
For sure.
So did that make it a little bit less daunting to you, the idea of like coming across the country? You're like, actually, I'm all right with that. I've done that before.
Yeah, for sure. I was talking to my mom yesterday, and I was like, for me, there's no problem going back to the East Coast. I love the East Coast. The vibe is just so much different out there, and I can't wait to get back.
He is Isaiah Watts. He's transferring to play at the University of Maryland, and he's with us this morning here on GCR. Isaiah, obviously, like you come in at an interesting time where it's going to be a completely new group of guys that's going to be together.
Yes, sir.
Like a couple of the guys obviously were together at Texas A&M with Coach Buzz, but for the most part, it's a wildly new group of guys. Do you know any of these guys? Have you had a chance to reach out to any of them yet to try to start, putting this thing together so you can learn to be a team?
Yes, sir. I played with Miles Rice my freshman year at Washington State. So me and Miles
I didn't even think about that.
Actually,
right?
Yeah, we're actually really close. He likes to think he's my big brother. He likes to bully me a little bit, but that's my guy. But everybody else I haven't met yet. But I'm excited to get down there and get to work.
Was that a piece of this transfer in the portal to Maryland? That the fact to play with Miles?
It helped for sure. It definitely helped. We had a lot of conversations, a lot of long talks about this. So, it definitely helped.
I was watching the video the other night of Miles Rice, and it's like a 2-minute, 40-second video, and I'm going, okay, I can see the guy can jump shoot. I want to see, because it says he's a point guard. Then all of a sudden, there were 6 or 8 passes that they showed. He's a very skilled passer.
Yes, sir. He's one of my favorite people I've ever played with in terms of just making sure the ball is delivered on time, making sure, people are in the right spots. He really is a maestro when it comes to running the offense. So I'm super excited to get back with him.
Isaiah, did you need to have hey, how do I fit into this picture? Am I starting? Did you have to have those conversations? Because again, there's so much unknown about a group of guys coming together.
Yeah, for sure. Obviously you have those conversations when you're getting recruited, or that's just a part of the recruitment process. But for me, I'm a worker, so no matter the situation, I'm going to put my head down. I'm going to, whoever comes in, whoever I'm playing with, we're going to compete, and I'm going to try to get that starting spot.
Isaiah, I feel like there's a lot of us that are kind of confused. Like, how does this work when you have so many guys come together?
Yeah,
but
that's interesting.
It's not obviously just at places where there are new coaches. It seems like this is just kind of college basketball now, right?
Yeah.
This is a new era of college basketball. This is my, I would say, third brand new team. So I'm just getting used to it at this point.
Is it as crazy? From the outside, we would think this is very difficult. On the inside, when you go through this, so you're like, no, we meet each other. We gel. It's all still basketball. We figure it out. It does not take long for us to get this churning.
Yeah, for sure. You know, like you said, it's just basketball. At the end of the day, you put a great coach and a great group of guys together and make magic happen.
When do you come to College Park? Like, will it be August, or will there be some summer get-togethers or informal?
For sure, I'll be up there in May, May 26th, and we hitting it hard as soon as May 26th hits.
Right, and go to work and try to make this thing happen.
Yes, sir. We got to get back to that tournament for sure. Not even back to the tournament. We got to get deep in the tournament.
That's what we're talking about.
That's what we're talking about.
For sure.
Now,
for sure.
How familiar are you with Maryland steamed crabs?
Oh, I'm not at all. That sound good though.
So I would assume where you're from. Have you had like king crabs? Have you done like I know that's a big.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, Seattle, right on the water, so we get all type of fish. We get salmon. We get crabs. We get shrimp, and it's all fresh.
So we're just gonna make it better, is what we're gonna do.
We're just gonna make it a lot better.
With no disrespect to what you guys have out there, we're just gonna add a little flavor to it and throw some spice in and like really step it up when you get here. That's all. No, I'm sure what you have is fine. It's just better here.
For sure. I got to be the judge of that. We're going to see. We're going to see.
Isaiah, for people that aren't familiar with your game, what would you want Maryland fans to know about what it is they're going to be getting in Isaiah Watts?
Dog. I think, everybody says they're a dog, and everybody can say they're a dog, but you got to really live it. And I'm here to work. I've done this. I've been working my whole life. I've been doubted my whole life. So you're getting a kid with a big chip on the shoulder coming in, ready to win.
What number, if you have a say in it, what number is Isaiah Watts?
You don't understand. Stan judges everything by this. This is really important to him.
What number? Like jersey number?
Yeah, jersey number.
Okay. I'm actually undecided. My grandpa's funeral was yesterday.
Yeah.
And he wore 13. And somebody at his funeral said, "Oh, well, I'll forever wear the 13, so I might have to go back to the 13."
Wow.
I might have
that
to.
would be special.
Yes,
That'd be really cool.
Now, do you wear a headband like your grandfather?
See, he has a oddly shaped head, and I don't, so I don't. I feel like the headband is not
your
thing,
thing.
So.
Let me go, Isaiah,
Yes,
if I
sir.
could. I'm going to start. I'm going to ask about both guys. I'm actually going to start with your dad, right? Because I say both of them obviously
Yes, sir.
very high-level basketball players. Let me start with your dad, who was an incredible shooter. What's the best thing that you learned basketball-wise from your dad?
And what was his name? Isaiah?
My dad's name is Donald Watts Jr.
Yep.
He's a junior.
Okay.
So let me see. The best thing I learned from my dad. Me and my dad we're in the gym every day for long hours. So it would be hard to put one thing on it. I would say the best thing that he's taught me that I think he would be proud of is my jump shot. He was a really good shooter, but I think I'm a way better shooter than him, and I let him know that from time to time. We get into arguments about that all the time, so I'll say my jump shot.
Are you a good three-point shooter, Isaiah?
Man, I struggled a little bit last year, but when I get it going, I get going. So
we need to see that for sure. And then what about from your grandfather?
Yeah.
What's the best thing that you learned in the years that you were able to spend getting to know your grandfather and basketball or beyond?
Yeah, my grandpa, he really instilled confidence in me for everything, school, basketball. He coached me in 6th grade with a bunch of my friends, and he used to just tell me all the time, shoot it. They don't work on their game. Just shoot the ball, shoot it. So he really gave me the confidence to if I work on it, shoot it.
That's cool, man.
I got to tell you, Isaiah, you endeared yourself to me when first thing you said when I asked about the headband.
Is he had
you
an
said he had an odd-shaped head. Because he did. He had a very odd-shaped head.
I'm telling you.
And then I know
watch.
because both guys, were basketball players, I know you had the opportunity to be around other really great basketball players. Was there anybody else that had a significant impact on you, just that you were able to be around because of your dad, because of your grandfather, and that someone that maybe we would recognize? You'd say, hey, this is a person that was really important to me in getting to this place.
Yeah, for sure. That's hard. I've been around so many big names, and credit to my dad and my grandpa just having me in those situations and having me around those people. I take something from everybody. Jamal Crawford, here in Seattle is obviously basketball royalty.
No doubt.
But he's also a pillar in the basketball community. He helps out. He works people out. He makes sure everybody's straight. Like Jamal, I take a lot from Jamal. Gary Payton, he talks a lot of trash, so I take that a lot from him. Isaiah Thomas, his work ethic, I watch him work out, the way he works. Everybody out here really has an impact on me, and is the reason I'm here today. So
that's really cool.
It's hard to name.
That's really cool.
Yeah, for sure.
Isaiah, we're really excited about having you here back on the East Coast and being at the University of Maryland and seeing what it is that you guys are going to be able to do coming together. What can we, social media-wise, are you on Twitter? Are you on Instagram? Can Maryland fans be giving you a follow?
Yeah, for sure. Instagram, follow me at Isaiah D. Watts 12. Twitter is just Isaiah D. Watts. Let's get connected. Let's get after it.
Love it, man. Isaiah, really excited for you and for the direction as obviously Coach Buzz hit the ground running and putting together a group of players, and we're excited to see how you come together. Thank you for taking the time for us this morning. And our best to your family. I know you mentioned that yesterday you all were celebrating.
Yep.
So it still hurts, but our best to all of you and your entire family after the passing of your grandfather. Thank you for doing this morning, man.
Yes, sir. I appreciate you guys.
Thank you.
Isaiah Watts with us here on GCR. You got a kick out of that. I could tell you got a kick out of that.
That was when he said my grandfather had an odd-shaped head. That's
like truer words never spoken, right? Yeah. That's really great. It's always funny to me, like Stan, Griffin and I actually had this conversation about you yesterday. Like what Stan, we were talking about you. Said what Stan really enjoys, and we're like, obviously,
my ears were itching.
Yeah. And obviously we know baseball is the top of the list. And I'm like, it's so funny. Like Stan really loves the NBA, like he really does. And like when we had Bobby Dandridge on a few weeks ago, how genuinely excited you were about that.
I was a huge NBA fan.
Yeah, well, you said you were the ball boy, obviously.
I was a ball boy in 1965.
That's right.
I remember the first game I went to, the Bullets at Civic Center, was a Sunday night. And the score at halftime was 56-56 against the St. Louis Hawks.
Okay.
Yeah.
That goes. Now we gotta go back.
Lenny Wilkins.
Gotta go back a minute.
Lenny Wilkins hit a layup at the buzzer at the half, and it was 56-56. I loved NBA
That's
basketball.
Cool, man. It's
then.
really, really cool. Griffin, do me a favor. See if we can't get a picture, either from him or from Washington State. I just realized we should have been ahead of that. Sometimes we forget about those things. It's the way it goes. All right, winding down now for a Friday edition of the program. Let's get a tidbit. Tidbit is brought to you by County Sports Zone. CountySports.zone is the website for you to find out everything going on high school sports throughout the state of Maryland, boys and girls lacrosse. Spalding went up to St. Anthony's and got a big win on the road yesterday. I saw that. And then baseball, softball, every spring sport, they've got you covered. Every score,
every spring sport.
Every spring sport. They're following golf. They've got you covered for that right now.
Wow.
They got it all. CountySports.zone proudly
How about
sponsored.
football in the spring?
There's no
football
they don't
in the
play
spring?
no, but they'll do that in the fall. And if there's pertinent news related to high school football, coaching changes, things like that, they've got you covered.
And you think if they move football to the spring, they'd cover
they
it
would,
then?
yes, 100%
Okay.
if it work out that way.
Great.
CountySports.zone, proudly sponsored by your local Toyota dealer and buyatoyota.com.
Where do we want to go? We talked about Cal Raleigh during this week in the rest of baseball, and he also earlier this week hit his 100th career home run. He became the 4th fastest catcher to reach the 100 home run mark.
Piazza.
482 games.
That was going to be my first guess.
Second fastest catcher. 422 games for Piazza.
How about Mr. Bench?
Mr. Bench, I think, was slightly behind.
Really?
Pudge.
Yeah. No Pudge.
How about Buster Posey?
No Buster Posey.
Yogi Berra.
No Yogi.
Carlton Fisk.
No Carlton Fisk.
Salvador Perez.
No Salvador
Yadi
Perez.
Molina.
No Yadi Molina. He is active. The number one guy is
Fourth
active.
How about Roy Campanella?
Roy Campanella, I think, was the 5th fastest. Yeah.
Somebody who is active.
Yes.
Is active. Ramos?
He's active
no.
today?
Wilson Ramos? Is
I
that
don't
who?
know.
He's not active.
He's active today?
Yeah. Let's see. There's a good chance he's in the lineup tonight.
Gary Sanchez.
Gary Sanchez is the fastest catcher to 100 home runs, 300 some games. I looked out of it.
Sure.
355 games.
Sure. I'm sure he'll hit another 100 with the Orioles.
And then the third, also 422 games, tied with Mike Piazza. This guy was a Detroit Tiger in the 30s and 40s.
Mickey Cochran.
Not Cochran, yeah.
No, not Mickey Cochran.
The 30s and 40s.
I'm not coming.
Okay, well now hold on a minute. Now because I did just look it up to make sure I had the teams right, and it's he might not have played catcher his entire his start. He started at third base, but okay, so in 1938 he played 116 games at catcher. He caught 116 games
for the Tigers.
Yes. Okay, yeah, so he's a catcher.
Yeah, I'm not coming up with
Not
this.
Not a great catcher, they're saying, but he was a catcher.
Mo Berg.
No. I got this from Sarah Lang, so maybe we could
I have no idea.
Fight her. Rudy York.
Oh, Mr. York's son.
Yeah.
I got nothing on
Rudy
I
York,
got nothing on Rudy York
tied for
whatsoever.
the second fastest
Nothing at all.
catcher to
So
100.
we're still missing one.
No.
No, that was it.
Those
Because
are three.
Cal Raleigh was the fourth. Was the
Okay.
fourth fastest there. Yeah. Spencer Strider came back from the IL this week and made a start against Toronto. And he is, so among pitchers that have made 50 starts, at least 50 starts, he has the highest strikeout to walk ratio in MLB history. Or sorry, not strikeout to walk. K per nine.
K per 9.
13.
Yeah, that makes way more sense than
13.45 strikeouts per 9 innings.
That's pretty remarkable. Yeah,
It's incredible.
It's pretty
55
remarkable.
starts for Strider. He's at 13.45, which is almost 2 higher than the guy second on the list.
Randy Johnson.
Not Randy Johnson.
I guess once you get deep, because that's the problem. You get deep into the career and the
These
numbers
are all
recede.
much. I mean, Randy's obviously a modern guy, but these guys are all
Yeah.
are active. Or
How about they're all active?
They kind of have to be because they haven't gotten to the tail end of their career yet, where those numbers will dissipate.
Oh, okay.
Randy Johnson is 15th all time at 10.61.
I almost feel like this is
and starting pitchers as well.
How about Garrett Cole?
No Garrett Cole. Let's do
Max
we can just do the
Scherzer.
top 5 here. We'll make it simple. Scherzer not in the top 5. Scherzer is 13th.
Son of a bitch.
10.65.
How about King Felix?
No.
You said active.
Felix.
Oh, they're all active.
Yeah. Blake Snell.
Snell is just outside the top 5, 8th.
Aaron Nola.
No Aaron Nola.
Zach Wheeler.
No Zach Wheeler.
How about? Oh, this is crazy. How about? Damn. It can't still be Kershaw. Kershaw.
No, not Kershaw. There are 2 Dodgers though.
There are 2
Yamamoto?
Dodgers.
Not Yamamoto.
Flaherty?
Glasnow.
No, no, not Flaherty. Glasnow, yes.
Okay.
Tyler Glasnow.
Glasnow, yes.
This is a ball busting.
there's
Okay, so
Another-
number 2 all time is actually not currently in Major League Baseball. He was with the Dodgers last season, but he's currently in the Mexican League.
Number 2. What is this list?
Yeah, this guy is it's weird that this guy is
Oh, Urias.
no, not Julio Urias.
Who was with the Dodgers
Last
year
year.
that's in the Mexican League now? And why don't the Orioles have him?
Started with the Padres, then went to Colorado, then to Boston for a cup
Is
of
this a
coffee.
reliever?
No, he came in as a reliever sometimes, but he started 60 games in his career. So
I don't know. I have no idea.
Dominican-born. I guess it's like an LB. He came up with the Padres. Dinelson Lamet.
Oh, Lamet.
Yeah, Lamet is number 2 among K per 9.
I'm not really sure what this list is, but
Strider, Lamet, Glasnow is 1, 2, 3, and then 4 and 5 are both. But one's not currently pitching.
What?
Trevor Bauer.
Not Trevor Bauer.
One's not currently Shohei.
Shohei Ohtani is 4th. 11.36, and the other guy with an 11.3 or higher K per 9 is a Milwaukee Brewer.
Devin Williams. No, you said right.
Peralta?
Freddie Peralta, yes. Freddie Peralta, number 5.
That is just a list of some guys, man. Like, that is a
So you're
definitive
saying-
list
you're
of
saying
some
Strider's
guys.
not good?
I think it's a fascinating
Phew.
list.
I think so
Just
too.
a list of some names.
You want me to expand it to
No.
No.
I don't
Please
want you to
understand.
expand anything at all in any way. I want to never do that again.
guys with the highest K per 9 that have started
Stop.
250 games.
No. We're
Number
not.
1.
We're not doing this again. I got a baseball game I got to do today. So.
Chris Sale.
Oh, how about that?
Number 1.
Chris
Number
Sale.
2, Max Scherzer.
So I would have gotten
Number
one.
3, Randy Johnson.
There you go.
So you're saying this is the realist, and then
That's-
Garrett Cole's
seems-
top 5.
It seems like a much more.
Yu Darvish is 4th.
Feels like a far more relevant
Aaron Nola,
list.
Kershaw, top
yeah,
10.
That seems like a far more
Zach
relevant
Wheeler's top
list than the
12.
50-game list. That's what it seems like. All right, let's get Tubular to wind things down for the week.
Have you ever thought of taking a cruise to these wonderful destinations with sunny skies and beautiful beaches? Well, wait no longer. We're ready for you to cruise from the Cruise Maryland Terminal.
Have a little phrase that you can go from baggage to margarita in about 15 minutes.
Choose fun with an array of destinations, onboard activities, entertainment, and world-class cuisine.
Contact your travel agent and book your cruise today. Let your adventure begin.
All right, here's what's coming up this weekend. Totally Tubular. Reds, Orioles tonight, 7:05 on Masson 2. Andrew Abbott and Cade Povich. Tomorrow afternoon, 4:05 on Masson 2. Hunter Green and
TBD.
Probably Brandon Young.
Hunter Green's been like one of the better pitchers since last August in all of baseball.
Well, yeah, but
Maybe
the
we can pick up Demelson
Lamet, yeah, right.
Lamet.
Yeah, but the Orioles on
Lamet.
Sunday get to throw Charlie Morton, so I'd say great equalizer. 135 on Masson to Nick Lodolo and Charlie
how's
Morton.
that equalize?
It seems pretty
Is
even
that
to
how
me.
the math works?
Lodolo.
Is
or
it Lodolo? I thought it was
I
Lodolo.
thought it was a Lodolo.
Maybe it's Lodolo.
I always said Lodolo.
He's been pitching pretty good lately.
Oh, great! Now we get to run into all the pitchers
Well, he's one
this
of those guys
weekend.
with a high K per 9, so it's like, is he even that good?
That's
Obviously.
great. Well, if it's only through 50 stars. Busy night for lacrosse tonight as Big Ten Network has Hopkins, Maryland, 8 o'clock.
Ooh, that's a big game.
Kind of in the we really are at the point where Hopkins is going to have to win. They are hopeless to get in the NCAA tournament. CBS Sports Network. Well, I mean, they could still win the Big Ten tournament if they lose tonight, I guess. CBS Sports Network, Navy Loyola, 7 o'clock. The play-in tournament continues tonight. Heat Hawks, 7 o'clock on TNT. Winner of that's the 8th seed in the East. ESPN has Mavs Grizzlies at 9:30. Winner of that is the 8th seed in the West. Tomorrow, full day. Big one tomorrow at Towson as they host Fairfield at noon on Lacrosse TV. Winner of that one will host
$1 beers, baby. Get out there.
Oh yeah, the winner of that one will host the CAA tournament. So that is a big one there.
Griff's got his priorities straight.
Yeah,
$1
that's what he's concerned about. That's the only thing he's worried. He's like, hey, who cares who they're playing? It's $1 beers. There was
Tom, does your mom talk to you about getting some help on that?
Jeez,
No, she
man.
hasn't. Why? Was she
Might be
supposed
time.
to?
Might be
or-
time. Busy day of playoffs tomorrow on ESPN. Bucks Pacers at 1, Clippers Nuggets at 3:30, Pistons Knicks at 6, then Timberwolves Lakers at 8:30 on ABC. And Stanley Cup playoffs get underway tomorrow as well. Blues Jets game 1
What
at
cup?
6. Stanley Cup. Stan the Family Cup on
They call it.
Avalanche
Stan
Stars
Cup.
game
They don't
1.
call it the Glenn Cup.
That's a great point. Avalanche Stars game 1 at 8:30 on TNT and True TV, and then on Sunday. Same deal, ABC for whoever wins tonight, and the Thunder game 1 at 1, and then Magic Celtics game 1 at 3:30, TNT and True TV for whoever wins tonight, and the Cavaliers game 1 at 7, Warriors Rockets game 1 at 9:30, and then a full day of hockey playoffs. However, the Capitals do not play until Monday night. That'll be game 1 of their series against the Canadiens. Will be on Monday, and of course, what really matters. WrestleMania. WrestleMania 41 from Vegas, 7 o'clock both nights on Peacock. But come join us, Inside Sports and Social, at Live Casino and Hotel for the Ultimate Ring Showdown Party. We're going to be having a great time, great giveaways, and the like. Griffin, what else is going on non-sports-wise?
Nothing.
Oh, okay.
Nothing really today.
That's
there's something.
Tonight, or this weekend?
No,
Sunday
it's
night. There's
been-
stuff Sunday night because all the shows are Sunday
It
night.
ended last night. Bosch Legacy.
Oh, yeah, I know you love Bosch Legacy.
It was this was a great. I didn't want it to end. It was terrific. Terrific.
Anything else?
You got Last of Us on Sunday night, Righteous Gemstones, and The Rehearsal season 2 is back.
I don't know what
That's
the
Nathan
Rehearsal?
Fielder's show where he
I didn't watch
sets
that.
up.
Yeah.
He has people rehearse pivotal moments of their lives. So season 1 was this lady wanted to have a baby, and he was like, "All right, well then in the span of the month, we're gonna have you experience every stage of having a kid, where he would replace the kid each day with a slightly older kid." And
Okay. Nathan Fielder
went
is
from infant to 18-year-old in
I bet it's all right. Fine.
I don't know what the premise is for this one.
When I finish my Freaks and Geeks rewatch, maybe I'll spend some time with that. Is that it?
Yeah, that's it. There's
wow.
nothing
There's no SNL this week.
No SNL this week.
Why? I guess they don't want to go. They don't want to go up against WrestleMania. That makes sense.
Bosch Legacy.
There you go.
Wolfman is streaming on Peacock. If anyone really wants to, didn't get a chance to see Wolfman yet.
Which one was Wolfman?
That was the one where the man becomes a wolf. And
oh, yeah, that's right. I do remember that now.
You know why
It's
he
like a
likes
horror
that?
movie.
Look at him.
Oh, you think he's actually slowly becoming a wolf himself? Is that what's going on over there? A teen wolf situation?
All the talk about the Iowa meat truck.
Right? That might be what it is. All right, very good. Thanks, Stan. Thank you to you.
What phase of the moon are we in?
We'll see you Monday
Pleasure to
night.
be here, yeah.
You, Ross, and Luke. And then Stan will be out next week as he's out making his $240.
I'm not going to accept it. I'm not going to accept
Doing questionable things. Thanks today to Isaiah Watts. Thanks to Michael Pierce. Thanks to Ryan Long. And thanks to Tyler Tejada. We'll get all of it up in the greatest hits section of the
Can You Take Me Higher
tab at GlennClarkRadio.com. No bat around on Sunday because it's Easter. Paul wants to spend a little time with his family, so no bat around this week.
Where are his priorities?
I know, right? What a jerk. Spending holidays with his family. What a bad guy he is. We will be back
How
on...
old's his kid now, 8?
No, I don't think his daughter is 8. Maybe 2? No, I think still just 1. I don't think she's turned 2 yet. And then we'll be back on Monday. Pat Ricard will join us on the program on Monday as he's back with the Baltimore Ravens for another season. He'll tell us all about that.
Is this where you tell him you love him?
I'm not gonna lie, not as much as I love Michael Pierce. I've had a great relationship with Pat Ricard, but it all went south when he thought that Outkast had done the song "Who Let the Dogs Out."
Wait, they did?
Everything changed between Pat Ricard and I.
That's
It was
understandable.
never quite the same.
Did you play some real
when
Outkast
when
for him,
when we were talking about how Big Boy was going to be at the Ravens game, and he was like, "Yeah, who's that?" And we're like,
Oh, he did Who Let the Dog Out.
No. And I said, "You Big Boy from Outkast," and he's like, "Oh right, they did Who Let the Dogs Out." And I just said, "Hey, buddy,
See ya.
we had a good run, you and I. We had
So it's
we
been
had
like
our
it's
times.
been a minute since you've
Yeah,
had
it hasn't been quite as frequent ever since then. Thanks to everybody at PressBox, all of our great sponsors and partners, including Brigance Brigade, Live Casino and Hotel, Cruise Maryland, Crown Trophy, Easy Pass, Baltimore's Classic 5 golf courses.
Gosh, this in.
They were actually
they were coming
They're
up.
coming up. HelpMyGamblingProblem.org, the Costas Inn, Maryland Sports, your local Toyota dealer, buyatoyota.com. Thanks to Griffin at Griffin_Bass. Follow us, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok at Glenn Clark Radio. Have a great weekend. Go Birds, go Maryland or Hopkins, go Navy or Loyola, Towson for sure. All the local lacrosse teams. Duke sucks.